and welcome to tonight's broadcast of the Galaxy Cup Series, Charlotte Roval 400 here on 3Y TV. I'm Nicholas Reese, and joining me alongside in the booth is Carlos Acosta, who will also be manning the cameras as well during this race. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the last race of the round of 12 here in the Galaxy Cup Series. Now, with that being said, Carlos, why don't we take a look at our current point situation?
Yeah, with it being the the final race of the round of 12, we're facing elimination, and 4 drivers are going home tonight. Currently, entering tonight's race, those 4 drivers are the number 53 of Preston McRae, the number 3 of Brian Mabry, the number 31 of Eric Wineland, and the 64 of Cody Bird. Now, that can change tonight. I can see 2 positions, two are already in drivers, currently in drivers, being sent home tonight. That will be those 2 being the 09 of Damaris Hickenbottom and the number 12 of Cam Caldwell, because they are only 3 and 9 points ahead of ninth place Preston McRae. And Nick, this is the road course. We are in Charlotte. While it isn't as hectic as Talladega could be in some cases, I can still see, a late wreck could possibly send one of these drivers who were looking good into being out of playoff contention.
Yeah, Carlos, exactly right. And I was talking with some of these drivers in this team communication chat here on Discord, and they were saying that I was seeing some mixed emotions, mixed feelings about this track coming into tonight, Carlos. And they were saying, like, some of them were saying, hey, I'm really excited for this. Some being like, oh boy, this is going to be interesting. And I think it's going to be interesting indeed. Like you said, possibly a late race wreck. Anything can happen here. These guys are going to be taking on 109 laps here on the Charlotte Roval. And of course, there will be stage 1 will end at lap 25, and stage 2 will end at lap 50. And of course, stage 3, the race, ending at lap 109. So it's going to be an interesting race, 109 laps here. And as we mentioned, this is the last race of the round of 12. So a lot of drivers going to be trying to make their way in and trying to stay in this little playoff bracket here. So I'm hoping not to be sent home outside of the playoffs.
Yeah, pardon me. Yeah, that's a good point, Nick. It's going to be treacherous indeed for some of these drivers. But the key is to just be consistent. It's a road course. Mistakes can happen. You got to take care of your tires. You got to take care of yourself, and you got to take care of your vehicle. All right? That's going to be good for the people that are starting in the front. They're not going to have too much, people to deal with. But if you're in the middle of the pack, if you're towards the end, checkups will happen, and if you're not prepared for them, you're going to get caught up. You're going to get some major front-end damage that could eventually lead to a blown engine. And, Nick, I believe those take about 30 minutes to repair.
Yeah, indeed. I was actually doing a little bit of a test run here at the Charlotte Roval in these cars. Of course, not with these guys' setups. Of course, open setups. These guys are running different setups depending on which setup they're using, as practice is just wrapping up here. And Carlos, it's really interesting because I actually did blow an engine here, and yeah, it takes a while to repair. So a lot of these guys hoping that won't happen, but it looks like these guys are ready to grid. I guess we can go through our starting grid, Carlos.
Yeah, it's a good point. I'm going to go ahead and prepare myself for that. All right, well, looking in to row number 1, starting on the pole, Jonathan Delaney, already a playoff driver, but he is not locked in. He is currently to the good, so he's looking to get that momentum of getting the pole and finishing, getting himself a win to not even bother about getting eliminated. Alongside him is going to be the number 63 of Bryson Hixenbach. In third place, Jimmy Costarellos with Cameron Caldwell. Cameron Caldwell, another playoff driver. Cameron Stone locked in, doesn't have to worry about tonight. It's going to be an easy race for him in 5th place, with Dakota Knoll in 6th. Row number 4 has Matthew Woods and Kevin Steele. Kevin Consistency Steele, currently, qualified in 8th. Row number 5, if I can hit the button. Row number 5 is going to be Brandon Pierce. And Alex Princeton will be starting in 10th, Nick.
All right, starting in 11th will be the number 17 of Christopher Hammond, and starting to his outside will be the number 09 of Damaris Hickenbottom. Starting in 13th will be Dave Fugue Jr., and starting in 14th will be Wayne Grassy. Starting in 15th will be the number 53 of Preston McRae, and starting in 16th will be Jack Durham, and starting in 17th will be the number 30 of Randy Drumhiller, and in 18th will be Josh Coppernell. Starting in 19th will be Kyle Amon, and starting in 20th will be Zach Probst. Starting in 21st will be the number 37 of Jason Taylor, and in 22nd, Ryan Samuelson. And rounding out the 23-car field tonight will be the number 3 of Brian Mabry. So 23-car field tonight, Carlos, as these guys are getting ready to race.
Yeah, and I'm sure any people that have eyes were able to see that the number placement was off at some point. I believe we got to the 13th place driver, and the number said 14, but that is because one of the drivers, especially in the early teens era, qualified for tonight's race but did not show up. Initially, we had 24 drivers take or attempt to put down a time today. Those last couple drivers were not able to set down a time. That's why they had no time listed. But one of the drivers in like 13th or 14th place qualified and was unable to make it tonight. I can't remember exactly who that was, but that is why the number placement was off for us. But Nick, already this corner right where we're at is going to be very tricky. I don't know if you were watching the Xfinity race, and granted they were racing in the rain, but this is a very scary corner. If you do not nail it perfectly right and get a little loose per se, you're gonna probably end up hitting the wall as your worst case scenario. Best case scenario, you just lose a lot of time.
Yeah, and you know what, Carlos is exactly right. I was watching the Xfinity race. Well, I was watching about the last 10 laps or so, and boy, was it raining hard there, of course. And yeah, definitely this turn and a couple other turns down here at the Charlotte Roval. It's really interesting. I think we're going to see some action-packed racing. And of course, it may not get as hectic as something like Talladega, like we saw last week here on 3Y TV. But definitely, I think we may see some action and see some guys just bypassing this turn here, going straight through. You can do that because, like, during the pace laps, you can do that because you're not racing yet. But yeah, I just like how a couple guys, including Dakota Knoll and a lot of guys on the outside mainly, did that.
Yeah, that was definitely, I did not expect, I thought something was happening there, and I saw a couple other drivers doing that. You're not going to get, I mean, during race conditions, in iRacing, you don't have to stop, and it may actually be worse for you if you stop. You just get one of those slow down penalties. But Nick, pace car's off, man. We're getting ready to go green flag racing.
Yes, we are. As these guys are going to be coming to the, what am I saying? To the stripe. The green flag will be in the air here at Charlotte, the Charlotte Roval to be exact. And these guys are racing here at the Charlotte Roval, and coming into the first turn here, it looks like the number 6 of Jonathan Delaney gets a pretty good start as these guys are trying to fan out single file, but still some of these guys double file still coming into this turn. And it looks like we're going to remain single file here a little bit, and I'm sure these guys are happy that they're not racing in the rain like they were in Xfinity.
Yeah, that was definitely a strange race to watch. I've seen them race in real life, they being the Xfinity drivers, and in the rain, and it's we're struggling. But in here, beautiful, nice weather. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and pull up the weather. All right, I had to look where I was pressing because I am blind as a bat. 77 degrees air temperature, 95 degrees track temperature with a small 5-mile-an-hour wind. That's not really going to mean much, but it's a nice, comfortable day. It's going to be hot on the track, as you got to be careful with those curbs. I believe those are the turtles they call. We saw that 6 and the number 63 of Bryson just pretty much two-wheeling, and while that is normal for these cars in some places, if you hit that too hard, you're going to get yourself some under the car damage that could affect the way the car grips during the corners.
Yeah, and you know what? Speaking of damage, you know who has a little bit of damage, and maybe a little bit more than a little bit, I believe is the number 04 of Dave Fugue, and he has a little bit of back-end damage, and I'm not completely sure what happened. I'm guessing maybe it got rear-ended. I'm not completely sure what happened there, but he has a little bit of back-end damage. Oh, and it looks like, I couldn't see who, but that looks like the number 12 of Cameron Caldwell stopped on right there. I couldn't see what happened, but as these guys were coming up, we're going to take a look at a 3Y TV replay here. And just spins it out right there. And of course, these guys aren't calling any cautions other than stage breaks. And yeah, so I'm not completely sure. I didn't see that, but we're going to take a look. This is going to be a good look.
Looked like the weight transfer was just too much. Yeah, there we go. Entering the corner, the weight transfer is too much for that vehicle, and it just got sideways. Thankfully for the number 12, no actual damage, unfortunately, with the lack of cautions. He's all the way at the back. He's currently 22nd out of the 23 drivers, and he's not going to get those spots back easily.
No, not at all, Carlos. And yeah, like you said, because these guys aren't throwing cautions other than for the stage break, it's kind of unfortunate when you're trying to stay up there. And even though he didn't get any damage, he's still falling back quite a bit and off the pace because no cautions. So even if it's a bad wreck, no cautions. So definitely going to be some interesting racing here. And it looks like these guys just keeping it clean. And as you can see on the bottom right corner of your screen, stage 1 will end at lap 25. We're currently in lap 3. So... but yeah, thankfully for Cameron Caldwell, he did get back to racing, and no damage for him, so that's good for him. And currently, your leader, the number 6 of Jonathan Delaney, he has been leading pretty much this whole race, and looks like he has quite a good lead over the number 63 of Bryson Hixenbaugh.
Not only
these guys...
Yeah, sorry about that, Nick. Not only does he have quite a good lead, it also looks like he's putting down lap times that are not necessarily a second faster than second place, but he's about 7/10 of a second faster. That number 6 is a rocket ship right now, and of course, we've been watching any real-life Cup racing. We can tell that the paint scheme that driver, the driver that paint scheme is based off of, is pretty much doing a fantastic job in the road courses. So. Looks like life is imitating art here for a moment, or art is imitating life there for a moment, as the number 6 of Jonathan Delaney is blistering fast already. Now, that does bring the attention of Bryson Hixenbaugh. He's no slouch. He's been known to win a race or two here in this league. Not much. He's won a couple races. Not much, though. Could Bryson be saving his tires for the end? That's something I did bring up that needs to be thought of. These drivers, they got to take care of their equipment. They got to take care of their tires. That's going to be even more so in real life than in iRacing, since they're still building around their tire model. But the tire is too hot. You're not going to be able to take these corners very well, and the pace will drop, as we've seen in previous road course races. Now, if the 63 is taking it easy and saving his tires, we may see this gap begin to shrink as the runs go on and until closer towards the first stage break. Remember, lap 25, I believe these cars should be able to make it on fuel. I'm not quite sure. The scout I sent has not come back to me with the information. But the last stage should be interesting to see if anybody has to do any green flag pit stops. All right. Something you may have noticed, last week we were not using our regular ticker. We had our graphic package. We had an issue with ATVO and updates that were going around. We had to use one of their graphic packages, and thank you to them because they provided a wonderful graphics package that we had some fun with. At least I had some fun with, and I liked it. But it's not ours, and we are back to ours. We did have to go to sort of like a conservative type of mode, take care of some issues, make sure this works. But we did add some things that we think are nice. For example, instead of the driver's name being blue and you seeing some white backgrounds, you can actually see that locked-in drivers have a green background around their number, and a golden background around their number means that they are playoff drivers. So, of course, means that they're just a regular driver. They are no longer part of the playoffs, or they were never a part of the playoffs. 5 laps in, Nick. What are you currently seeing out there? What are you liking? What are you not liking?
Well, I've just been taking a look at this gap between your leader, Jonathan Delaney, and Bryson Hixenbaugh, and I honestly think as well that Hixenbaugh may just be going easy on his tires, and you can see the gap currently, the live gap, about 3.46 seconds between these two, and I definitely think that Hixenbaugh is going easy on his tires, and I'm thinking, yeah, it's going to shrink. This gap's going to shrink once he's ready. He's in go mode. Anyways, I would like to point out that Jason Taylor has retired from the session. The number 37
Oh.
of Jason Taylor. He has taken it to the garage. I didn't see anything happen on the track. I'm not completely sure what happened to him, but he has manually disconnected from the iRacing service, so I don't think I saw anything. So I'm not completely sure what that was all about, but before moving on, I'd just like to, of course, shout out ATVO for, of course, last week's ticker graphics package there that you saw on screen. And of course, we're back to our 3Y TV ticker. And of course, that is a free theme that ATVO gives. If you're an ATVO member, you can sign up for free on their forums, and you can just go grab that ticker. If you're trying to start out for some fun little broadcasting that you're trying to do, then that's a great ticker to start out. I was really digging that ticker. So, of course, thanks to them, and it looks like the number 63 of Pixen Boss scraped the outside wall just a little bit, but barely anything. And it looks like these guys are just continuing just to ride on, and a lot of these guys in a different zip code from one another.
I agree. Pardon me, as I was taking care of some small issues here we got going on. As you can clearly tell, the 2 series regulars, Andre and Kevin, are unavailable tonight. I have given them a vacation date. So we got the B team, and guess what? We're just gonna have a blast. So normally, hi, I'm Carlos. I'm usually the one that's hanging out behind the booth, taking care, making sure everything you guys are seeing is nice, crisp, and quality. And I love seeing everybody's reactions to our broadcasts. We love that you guys all enjoy watching, what we do, and more importantly, enjoy watching what these guys do. Because we're only as good as the drivers that are out there racing and having fun and competing. But yeah, so nice to talk to you guys. I hope my voice doesn't scare you off too much. I always like to say I have the perfect voice for silent films. And as you can tell, that's more true than not. But Nick, why don't you talk about yourself a little bit? You're still very new at this, and you're learning.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. Anyways, yes, I'm Nicholas Reese, commentator for 3Wide here, and you may, of course, recognize my young voice from last week's Talladega race, and wow, that was a blast. That was fun. Being able to broadcast with Galaxy Cup Series guys, and I'm happy to be here again to broadcast, to help commentate the Charlotte Roval 400 here on 3Y TV. And I'm still new to this, and it's a really interesting story. On the iRacing forums, I've been into commentating because I did some of it for my school's like basketball, volleyball games, and I posted on the forums, on the iRacing forum, said that I'm willing to volunteer. I'm willing to, help commentate. And then I got a message on Discord from the one and only Carlos. And, I was really happy because he gave me the opportunity and did my first ever commentated race over at Homestead Miami Series, or Miami Series,
Wow.
Miami Speedway. I was thinking of the series and then Miami Speed, okay. Anyways, yeah, that was fun, and I've been enjoying commentating for 3Y TV ever since, so that's always fun. So happy to be here and happy to be helping out with the Galaxy Cup Series 2 weeks in a row, but hopefully by next week it'll be back to the usual, the familiar faces, Ken and Andre. So, But yeah, definitely last week I definitely enjoyed working with Andre, and like I said, happy to be here again.
Yeah, Kevin and Andre, we miss you guys. Hopefully you guys can come back in next week, and we'll rock the house to begin the round. So that's the thing. It's elimination race. We brought this up, and we're going to continue to bring it up. It's very important. Only 4 drivers are going home, or not going home. The 4 drivers are out of the playoffs after this. And here, let me go ahead and pull up the current standings one more time. Currently, that's Preston, Brian, Eric, and Cody. Preston is currently running in 11th, so I do not believe that's going to be good enough to get him in. Brian is not here. Is Brian not here? Brian's not here, so he's not going to be making this out of this tonight. Wait, no, I'm a liar. Brian's right there.
I was gonna say, Brian.
12th,
I think Brian
yeah.
may be.
Hey, so I suffer from keratoconus, and my vision is just garbage. So Brian is here. The number 31 of Eric Weinman is not here. He is, as a matter of fact, is not here. And the number 64 of Cody Bird is also not here. So right off the bat, two for sure. Eric Weinland and Cody Bird are not going to be advancing. Based on the points, at least for Cody, he had to win his way in. Now, regarding Cam Cotwell and Damaris Hickenbottom, they're not that far off. Damaris is currently in 8th, and that's good enough for him to still be in it because in 11th, that's where Preston is. So he's only 2 positions ahead of Preston, and that's fine. And then the 12 of Cameron Caldwell is 13th. So he's actually in between Brian Mabry and the number 31.
Yeah, and you know what? Yeah, and you know what, Carlos? We were seeing how Jason Taylor parked it early, and I got a little bit of insight from him. He said that he had an issue at the Glen where he tried to get out of Delaney's way, and he wrecked himself and Delaney, and he says it's a high-stakes race, and he just wanted to get the start under his belt and then get the heck out of the way. So that's a little bit of info from Jason Taylor, who parked it early. So definitely see how he was going about that.
Oh,
just
wow.
wanted to start it and then go away. Just leave the track. We're going to fly out to Charlotte, and we're just going to fly back home right after we start the race.
Number 38 of...
Number 38 would be Brandon Pierce.
Yeah,
Carlos.
he's got some heavy front end damage. I'm not. Oh, and contact.
Whoa, and a little bit of. Yeah.
37. Yeah, contact with the 30. No, that's not the 37. Not sure what that's
the 17.
17. There we go.
Yeah, that was the 17 of Chris Hammond, who we made contact with. So quite a bit of front damage and some side damage there. Just got a little bit of contact there with the number 17. Yeah, wow. Okay, yeah, he does have... He looks like a modified from a front view there, and you can see there just a lot of front damage there, and I'm not completely sure what happened for him to get that. Were you seeing anything, Carlos?
No, unfortunately, I don't. I do not have the abilities to go back that far in time unless you guys are all okay with me boring you all to death with just watching it. But that's going to be some heavy damage. Now, this is kind of a fast-ish track, but it's not Watkins Glen. He'll be able to do well, not if he takes his corners like that, though, but he'll be able to do well here. The only concern I have is, did that radiator get damaged? And this is very early in the race. We're only 12 laps into a 109-lap race. That engine can go. It might just KO itself before the race is over. Has front end damage, or sorry, if he has radiator damage, so that's something that kind of has to be, kind of monitored. Now, 38 is not a playoff driver, so he's got really nothing to lose. He's just he wants to go out here and win a race. But that's something, I have to be aware of now. I'm sure he knows he has front end damage. Something like that just doesn't happen without you knowing it, and the fact that you can see it as well on your end kind of tells me that it's not just a client side issue. So we're gonna need to just take notes on the 38 and see how long that car can last. Not looking good.
Yeah, we'll definitely keep an eye on him, and I'd like to give a little bit of a comparison between your leader and second place. So coming up on the line, Jonathan Delaney running a 1:21.245, and we're gonna see what Hixenbaugh runs. He's gonna run a 1:21.550, and currently a 7-second gap between these two. I definitely think that Hixenbaugh is taking it easy on his tires, and will close it in, like I said, when he knows that it's go time. So just a lot of these guys just spread out for the most part, and like you said, Carlos, we're gonna definitely keep notes on the number 38 of Brandon Pierce, who appears to have some front end damage, and like you said, definitely not a client side issue since both of us can see it. And I'm sure he definitely knows that he has front end damage because you can see you can see some visual damage from his view. I was looking at. So
yeah, well, also I'm sure he would know that he just hit something or somebody that hard.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I don't believe a bird randomly just came out and did that without him knowing. So Anyways, a lot of these guys, like I said, in their own zip code, they're social distancing from each other, so that's great. They're staying safe, following CDC recommendations. You know what? It's really hard. These are very noise-canceling headsets, all right? And it's kind of hard to hear what I'm saying. That's why mic monitoring exists.
Normally, I can just say this, nobody hears me. Because, you're not the only person to mess up a word or two. Behind the scenes, I am constantly running my mouth. Somebody says something funny, I laugh at them.
He's always laughing at us.
I'm always laughing at you guys. I'm always saying, oh, is that true or something? And,
yeah,
but not in the booth. Oh, no, the 17 makes contact with the 12. That's a play.
Whoa.
Those are two playoff drivers that have just gone off. Well, one of them has gone off. The 17 has gone off in the bus stop. Let's go back in time. And Nick, why don't you go ahead and guide me through just what happened?
Yeah, so it looks like the number 17 of Chris Hammond just came. Either I think the 12 came up or the 17 came down. It was a little hard to see on that angle there, but they made contact and went over the corner, and just it all happened from there. So we're gonna have an aerial view here, a little bit of a better view. Now watch the 17 and the 12. The 12 goes low, trying to make a move. It looked like the 12 kind of came up a little bit, as we saw Carlos's desktop background for a second. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Maybe they both, one came down, one came up. We're gonna see here. I'm thinking Hammond came down just a little bit, and the 12 came up just a little bit.
Definitely a dive bomb on the 12's part. Not saying that what he was doing was wrong, but it looked like the 17 just didn't expect number 12, Caldwell, to be there. Sorry, Cam. I know you have issues with people that just take away that L in your last name, as I did there for a moment. I'm not saying that the 12, what he did was wrong. It's just that the 17 didn't expect Cameron to be there entering the corner, so he just cut down across his nose and essentially spun himself out, giving both of them damage. Now, that's something to consider, but at the same time, that's something that both of these drivers can afford. Both of them are definitely playoff drivers. The 17 of Christopher Hamann, as we see here. 3,077 points. He's currently 5th in standings. He's to the good. Cameron Cadwell does not have that luxury. Cameron Cadwell only has 3,060. That's 17 points less than Christopher Hamann, and he's only 3 points to the good of Preston McRae. And that's where Preston McRae is doing right now. Preston McRae is currently in 14th, so he's still good. Cameron Caldwell is good, but the other person to watch out for is Brian Mabry, and Mabry is currently running in 13th. So at the same time, Cameron Caldwell, he's good, but the 17 did come across the front. Going back to what we were talking about with the 38, they're concerned for radiator damage. Not seeing much damage, if any, to that front end. I do see some slight crinkling on the quarter panel on the front front right quarter panel, but iRacing's kind of finicky about how that radiator gets damaged, Nick.
Yeah, and you know what? They're also keeping a little secret. iRacing, we're not able to see what a lot of these drivers can see in their own cockpit. They're able to see their temperatures, their water temperatures, oil temperatures, so they know when they're going to get close from that engine to blow up, and we can't see that. It shows as zeros on our screen. I can assure you that that's not true. the temperatures are not 0 degrees. But as you saw right there, it shows as 0 for us spectators. And when you're basically to prevent cheating, just taking a look at other drivers, because even the drivers can spectate, like during practice sessions or whatever. But of course, that's not known to us spectators. So, Carlos, I'm thinking that maybe, I don't think the 38 will really have to worry about radiator damage. I don't think that that'll be a factor. I think that he'll be okay, but, I mean, like you said, iRacing is kind of finicky on how that goes. So I'm not completely sure. I guess we'll just have to keep watching as these laps go on, as we're coming close to entering lap 18 of 25 in the stage.
Yep, exactly. Almost gonna wrap up stage one. Of course, this race is gonna go by quicker than most races. Even if other races they go caution free or as caution free as they could, this league does run stage breaks. Road course racing is it always tends to be a quick type of race, even if it should be done very early tonight. A bunch of these drivers will be hanging out, partying. Some of them more, some of them just trying to have one of those sad parties that you do when you get eliminated from the playoffs. You know, you're still there, but at the same time, just something bad happens. But the 38, I do think he made these issues by having front end damage. His lap times are off compared to the race leaders, and even if you don't compare him to the race leaders, he's just slightly off compared to with the exception that last lap. But that front end damage, especially pardon me, especially in that area around here before the bus stop, you know, NASCAR 1, 2, NASCAR 3, 4, that's where he's going to suffer a lot. He's got aerodynamic issues there with that front end. The only thing I do like is that he doesn't have a cooling problem, or at least it's going to be easier to cool that radiator if it's not damaged.
Indeed. And a couple of you guys in chat, Roll Film Productions, saying, "What's up, Carlos? It's Nate." Well, hello, Nate. I'm not Carlos. This is Carlos.
Oh, Nate! Oh my! I'm sorry, Nick. Nate, it's been a long time. I hope you're doing well, man. I've missed you. I hope you are just having a great time. Anyway, sorry, Nick. Go on.
Yeah, and Nate over at Roll Film Productions saying that the number 38 will be fine because he had no nose before here, and he was fine. So we'll see if Nate's information here is accurate, and we'll see if the number 38 will be all right. And I mean, if it's said that you've had no nose here and you've ran fine, hopefully that's the same for the number 38. And Adam in the chat saying Bryson looks slow. I thought he was supposed to be good. Well, you know, Bryson, what we're believing here, Bryson Hicksonbaugh, I believe he's conserving his tires. So it's a pretty big gap here, as you can see, a almost 10-second gap, and it's been going up and up and up. I just think he's conserving his tires, and I've said this so many times. I think he knows when it's go time, or he'll know when it's go time, and he'll start to close in. I think for this stage he may just ride a little bit and just conserve his tires.
Yeah, he's too far back.
Yeah.
To compete for an actual stage win. Granted, something can happen. Delaney can mess up a couple corners, or you can spin out. That'll change some things around. But I think Bryson is just content finishing second in this stage.
Yeah, I believe so too. I think he's all right with that, and we'll see what he does going forward, as we're getting close to entering lap 20 of 25 of the first stage. And I think going forward in the next stage or so, I'm thinking that maybe Bryson will try to make some moves, but for the first stage, he gets a little loose.
Bryson?
But he is all right. He got a little loose, and yeah, I'm not completely sure. Just gave it a little too much, but thankfully he got hold of that. So I'm thinking, yeah, he's gonna take it easy this stage, and then going further, he'll think about what he wants to do.
Quarter panel damage?
Well, let me check.
Yeah, he does.
Oh yeah.
A little loose there once again. It looks like he's got just a little bit of a right rear quarter panel damage. I'm not sure if he hit a wall or something. That right side is damaged. I wonder if he hit the wall on this upcoming corner, the exit to the Roval. We're going to see how close he gets. A lot of the drivers get very close to that outside wall. He's actually kind of avoiding it like the plague. Now, yeah, I wonder if he maybe just messed it up and maybe smacked that wall, giving him some right side damage. Because you can see that hood's kind of crept up a little. And I definitely see a crinkle in that right rear quarter panel as well.
Yeah, that may have happened.
Yeah,
I've seen that from a couple. Oh yeah, I can see that, and you know what? Yeah, you can see it from that view there. And honestly, I've seen some other drivers do that. I was taking a look at some of these guys in practice, and I've seen a couple of them in that same turn, Carlos. They got very close to the
that
wall.
That one or this corner right here.
Yeah, Yeah, it's either, yeah, I'm guessing that's about it right there, and that definitely will happen, or maybe even there. I mean, they get very close to that wall as well. You get close to walls everywhere here.
Yeah, so there's a lot of walls here for a not street course, road course.
Yeah, definitely a lot of walls here and a lot of things to run into. I remember, speaking of a lot of things to run into, when the NASCAR Cup Series drivers came here for the first time,
Oh no, I know what
um,
you're gonna say.
there were these little sponsor blocks, and like the chicane was changed up just a tiny bit. And coming out of that, I remember in the Xfinity Series race at least, someone was dragging. It may have been Joey Gase, literally pushing the sponsor block.
Yeah.
And I remember in the Cup Series, Bubba Wallace running right into it, and that was a huge issue in the first run at the Bank of America Roval.
I believe in iRacing you just phase through those around, but you never
Yeah,
know. That could be
that'd
something
be
that
cool.
iRacing might be working on in the future. You know,
Hey, you never know. They're trying to make it as real as it
yeah,
gets.
they got to think of more excuses on when to add rain. So we're not adding rain now. We got to add these movable sponsors.
Yeah, yeah, that would be awesome. Just have a bunch of Bank of America blocks here, since you got Bank of America all over the walls on here, in the road course section. Why not add the sponsor blocks and be able to run right through them, or not right through them, be able to run with them?
Yeah, 22 laps in this race. We only have uh, four more laps before this stage is over on lap 25. You know, the math doesn't add up, but they got to finish lap 25 first. People are shouting, saying that's Rasha McRae saying go Preston McRae. Go 53, I should say. So there's a 53 currently in 19th place. So
Yeah,
Preston is one lap down, actually. Looks like he did get... Something must have happened to Preston. I'm not showing any record of him going down pit road. He started 15th, and he's dropped 4 spots. So something must have happened to Preston that required him to go a lap down, because it's not... I mean, it's not hard to go a lap.
no.
At his last lap, a minute 26. That's 5 seconds slower than Jonathan Delaney. So I guess that could be it. Just could be his pace. His pace is slower than. We actually have a lot of drivers a lap down. Now that I think about it, you know, look, we only have 12 drivers on the lead lap. 17 of Christopher Hammond is the last driver on the lead lap, and he has about minute 15 behind the race leader. So he's not that far off to being lapped himself. 13th and down, that's Brian Mabry, Jack Anthony Durham, Randy Drumhiller. All those drivers are a lap down. It's definitely a playoff driver. 17's a playoff driver. He doesn't want to go a lap down. It's not good. If you're the first car 1 lap down, oh, that's one thing. As a 3 just gets to the wrong end of the turtles there and goes wide, slowing down his drive through the...
Whoa! And it looks like the number 63 of Bryson Hicksonbaugh hit the outside wall just a little bit ago and got quite a bit of right rear end damage. We're going to take a look at the replay here, Carlos.
When was this?
It was right in here, I believe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yep, right there. Just turned a little too
Locked
right
it up,
instead of
yeah.
left. Yeah,
You locked
locked
exactly
it
what
up.
happened.
Yeah. Yeah, so... Yep, that was about it. It was kind of hard to see when you said, when was this? I was looking at a wall, Carlos, and I was trying to figure out where exactly we were.
So that's what
Oh,
happened.
yeah.
The Bolide has a 30 in front of him, just slowed down far earlier than 63 of Hicksonbaugh was expecting.
Yeah, and you know what? I was watching that. I've been taking a look at the number 63 of Hicksonbaugh pretty much this whole time. I should be... Oh, yeah, we're going to take a look at this.
He hit the wall there once. Then had to lock it up to avoid
then
getting
locked
to
it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see it the first time, but yeah, I definitely saw where he locked it up, and I've been taking a look at Hicksonbaugh pretty much the whole race, and just to see something like that, and like we said, these guys are very close to the walls, and looks like he's trying to stay off of the wall. He's trying to make a move on the lap traffic, as that's coming into play for the number 63 of Hixenbaugh in second. But your leader, who's just sitting up there, Jonathan Delaney, has nothing to worry about. Bryson Hixenbaugh about, I'd say, I don't know. I don't have live timing and scoring, unfortunately. I just take a look at this. I could just look at the ticker.
13 seconds back. Last lap of stage number 1. Delaney is just steamrolling through everybody. 13 seconds back of second place, or ahead of second place. 31 seconds ahead of third place, and 34 of fourth. 42 of fifth. So Delaney is on a roll, and he is looking to get himself another victory here tonight for this season. Not locked in, but I don't think he needs to worry about making a round of 8. That's going to happen, it seems.
Yeah, I'm thinking so. And you know what? This paint scheme, inspired by, of course, Chase Elliott and Chase Elliott style paint scheme. And we were talking about this earlier on the broadcast, Carlos. And a lot of you may say it's a coincidence, but you never know. I mean, it may just be that it's true that the paint scheme affects the way you drive. If so, iRacing is pretty much saying, find the best paint scheme that relates to this track, and you win. Nah, it's probably a coincidence.
Well, that's also not the paint scheme he ran to win at that track. As number 6, Delaney crosses the line, that's going to end the stage in a little bit as soon as a couple more drivers cross the line. So actually, in like a minute or so, the caution will in fact come out.
Yeah, but you know what I was talking about? It's the driver-inspired paint scheme. It's of course okay. Chase Elliott, who, I'm not thinking of the exact paint scheme, but thinking of the driver. The caution going to come out here in a little bit for our first stage break, which we will step away once the caution comes out for just a little break so we can get some sips of water, as it looks like, normally it would be when just a lot of these guys just pass.
We have to wait a minute for 10th place. Yeah. A minute 18 seconds. 13 drivers, top 12 drivers are in the lead lap. 17 Hammond is 2 seconds away from being lapped. That may happen depending on how much of a nice person Delaney is. Delaney may just choose to just not lap him, but he may choose to lap him too if he wants. So very soon we should be getting the yellow flag, because we have crossed the start finish, we have crossed into the lap 26, which is stage 2.
And the caution's out.
There we go.
All right, so the flagman waving the yellow flag. We're going to take a quick step away. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back with more Galaxy Cup Series action here at the Charlotte Roval.
All right, good job, man. As soon as these guys... Oh, hold on. Never mind.
Welcome back, everybody, to 3YTV's coverage of the Galaxy Cup Series Charlotte Roval 400 here. And it looks like Jonathan Delaney, your stage winner, who has just caught up with the pace car, I believe has also caught up with Carlos Acosta. So we're going to bring him in here in just a second. And why don't you take it away, Carlos?
All right, Jonathan Delaney, do you have a copy?
Yes, I do.
How are you doing? You are piloting an absolute rocket ship right now. You have pulled away to such a massive lead early on and held on, kept your car nice and clean, and dominated into winning stage number 1. So congratulations to you. But more importantly, how's that car looking, or how's that car feeling? Because it looks real good.
Yeah, the car feels good. On the longer run, it gets a little tight and have to be a little easy with it, with the throttle and exit. But other than that, the car's great. It's handling real well, and we're really fast.
Well, on your way to advancing onto the round of 8, but in order, before you have to think about that, you still have to finish out this race. What's your plan to making sure that this good start ends in a good finish?
Yeah, just keep it clean. Just run nice, consistent, fast laps. And we should get this win for sure.
All right, well said, and hopefully we look forward to talking to you again. Before this race ends.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Fantastically beautiful, almost perfect stage 1 victory going now. Not much changes out on pit road. Everybody's pretty much staying the same. Massive gap between drivers, especially with the we saw 14 drivers currently on the lead lap. There we see Jack Anthony Durham taking his way back and gonna be trying to get himself back into the end of this field before green flag. Big track, and as I can tell in some road races, especially in official where we don't extend the yellow, he may not be able to get back up to the field before green flag comes out.
Indeed, and you know what, Carlos? We were looking at the number 63 a little bit earlier, who locked it up, and you can see that he has quite a bit of damage on especially his right side, especially near the front. So, of course, he did get a little bit of damage, or quite a bit of damage, when locking it up and going just right instead of left. Anyways, as you see on the bottom right corner of your screen, this is stage 2. Stage 2 will end at lap 50, or around lap 50. It may be lap 51 when the caution flag comes out, depending on how long it takes these guys to get around to the start-finish line. So the pace car lights are off. These guys are going to be ready to go green very soon. These guys coming into NASCAR turn 1, I believe. Yep, that's turn 1. And turns 1 and 2, and then of course going to have to make their way to 3 and 4 of the NASCAR turns, and eventually get to the start-finish line to get green flag racing.
Where we're going to be going green, I'm assuming just already very interesting kind of race has been going on. Not much per se in terms of people being bundled up together. Everybody seems to be spread out, keeping themselves not that far off. But those last few laps, especially for the 60, Bryson, did not go well for him. He had to check up under some lap traffic, and that caused some more right side damage to his. I'm not sure if that 63 is all there to be able to compete with the rocket ship that the 6 has, but if the 6 gets caught up in an issue like that, maybe even worse, 63 could be in a prime position to win the race. For the 57.
Yeah, I'm not completely sure, and you know what? I don't know. The 63 of Bryson Hixenbot, just last couple laps of that stage, did not go his way. But the pace car is going to make the left turn down to pit road, as these guys are going to get ready to go green. Not Hixenbot. that'll be Jonathan Delaney with quite the start. That was a great takeoff of that rocket ship. Yeah, both of them, Hixenbaugh and Delaney. Wow. I mean, I guess Delaney does really have a rocket ship. That was quite the blast off there from Jonathan Delaney. He went earlier than I expected.
Oh yeah, both of them took off. I mean, granted, Delaney definitely got the whole shot into that corner, but Bryson Hixenbaugh also massive distance over third place, already 2.3 seconds, and we're just getting into NASCAR 1. So big. These two drivers are definitely going to be the class of the field. But now the question is, just exactly what does Bryson have? It's kind of wasn't hard to tell that he wasn't keeping the same pace as Delaney, but was that because Delaney's setup is far better than Bryson's, or was that because Bryson was saving his tires and just maybe saved too much? Maybe just saved too much. We don't know. This second stage is the same length as the first stage, but of course with cautions and how that works, it's actually less than that first. But we're getting about 22 to 23 laps of green flag racing compared to the 25 laps that we got to start the race off. Stage 3, however, we're going to be seeing 47-ish laps of green flag racing, and that more than likely will include green flag pit stops. So while the number 6 of Jonathan Delaney does have a huge advantage in the terms of the speed he's carrying throughout this first stage and entering the second stage, if he makes a mistake, if he speeds down Pier Road, if he gets involved in lap traffic, Bryson's going to do the best he can to put himself in a position where he can benefit from that. He may not have the speed or the pace, or if he did, he may not have that anymore because of the damage to contend with the 6. But if he can put himself in a good position and benefit from any mistake that John might make, then we'll be talking about seeing Bryce Hixenbaugh in victory lane once again.
Yeah, for sure. And I believe my iRacing was a little bit behind there. That was weird. I was taking a look at what you guys were seeing at home, and I saw they haven't entered that turn for me. So my iRacing was just a little bit off. And yeah, it looks like Hixenbaugh just falling off the pace just a little bit here, but still staying in a little bit of, I don't know, he's just falling back just a little bit. I don't know if he's doing the conserving tires or it's that damage that Hixenbaugh has.
Looks like Cameron Stone is running competitive lap times almost close to what the drivers around him are doing. So him and Jimmy Costerado's running around the same lap times. It'll be an interesting battle to see if they'll be staying together. So a nice battle there we got going on. And then we see the number 36 and the number 12. Not side, I almost said side by side, but they're together. What's up, Nick?
It looks like the 63 pulled off what he's done a couple times tonight, Carlos. Just coming into NASCAR 1, he did hit the wall, and that's just coming up here, right about here.
Oh wow!
Smacks into that wall yet again. So we've been seeing that a lot from Hixenbaugh and a couple other drivers too, and that damage is just going to keep building up on that right side.
That's true. I mean, you can hit it once, twice, and that may be fine, especially in this track. If you keep on abusing that right side damage, it's gonna eventually lead to a meatball. Now, I know iRacing did toughen up the vehicles a lot, especially since compared to how they were when they first came out, but you don't want to just keep on smacking it. That's at some point. And lap times don't seem to be that far off of what Jonathan Delaney is running. So, Bryson maybe might need to tone it down a little bit more. It could be that that first run the majority of it he was running perfectly fine, and it could have been a reason as to why he dropped 10 seconds to Jonathan Delaney. Could be trying to make sure that doesn't happen again. But of course, you try to push that limit, you're going to go over it at some point, and we saw the 63 hit the wall there. We have proof they hit the wall there. The question is, how many times can he afford to do that with that already damaged vehicle?
Yeah, and you know what gave it a lot of damage, Carlos? It was when he locked up those brakes, and and just kind of got smacked right into that wall in the last stage, and that definitely hurt it more than it should if you were to just tap it a little bit. And I don't know how many more times he can afford to hit it with that race car with that banged up right side. So we're going to see what happens. I mean, if he were to hit it again, I'm sure he's just going to be a little bit more cautious now as he gets a little loose, but a little loosey-goosey, and, just saves it. And I've been seeing that a lot of these drivers coming into around the first or second turn on the road course part of this race. And you know what? They get a little loose. But of course they do save it, thankfully. And yeah, so...
Remember, they're not going around 180 miles an hour through the middle of the corner, so it's a little easier to save than at some other tracks, or at least compared to ovals. You can afford to just flip the wheel and save it, no problem there. It's still difficult. We're not saying it's not, but we're going to be seeing a lot of drivers just catch their vehicles, hopefully before the vehicle just starts wrecking.
Yeah, hopefully, Carlos. And you know what? I'm thinking that maybe that these guys are, of course, pretty sure that these guys entering stage 3 in the next stage. It's going to be interesting because we got to remember that these guys are going to have to take green flag pit stops. And now, like we've said, Jonathan Delaney absolutely dominating this race. Now, when they get to green flag pit stops, say next stage, that all can change.
Yeah, I'm not planning or expecting an issue in pit road from Jonathan Delaney or Bryson Nixon bodies. Clearly shown that they're more than capable of running up front and not making mistakes like that. But it's not out of the picture.
Well, different.
Yeah. Good drivers have been known to
different
mess
pit
up.
Strategies and such.
I don't
if you were to have a different pit strategy, could you catch up?
No, I don't think that Bryson with a different pit strategy is enough to catch up and pass Jonathan Delaney. I really don't. Jonathan Delaney. Jonathan Delaney is going to go ahead and pull away to another 10-second lead. I'm expecting that, especially by the time they get around to pit stops. He was up to 13 seconds in lap 25 when the caution came out. We don't actually have a reference on how many laps they can go before they have to pit, but I'm assuming that number may get higher and higher. And with an off strategy stop, let's say that Bryson pits in like 5 laps early or 10 laps early, it's like he'll pit whenever the window is open to pit. That's not going to be enough. You're not going to gain plus 13 seconds, plus 20 seconds. You're not going to gain all that on that type of pit stop strategy. What Bryson needs to do is be able to stay within 5 seconds. If he can stay around that target, then yeah, I can see that happening. But if he starts dropping, he starts fading towards the end, then Bryson has to. Well, sorry, the only way that Bryson can win is if Jonathan messes up, if he spins out, if he hits the wall, hits lap traffic, or if he has to go down pit road again for a speeding penalty. That's the only way I can see Bryson winning this race. I don't see anybody else here having pace to even contend. Third place of Cameron Stone. Third place. He's 10 seconds back of the race leader. 8 seconds around there behind second places. We see a driver that's just dropping smoke. I'm not sure who that was.
That'll be the number 22, or sorry, the number 162 of Zach Probst as he's making his way down pit road. Yeah, a completely crunched back
end. Oh, the Padres car. Oh,
yeah, the Padres car. He hasn't run anything else. That's what he gets.
Oh, okay, well, we're not going to say that. So heavy damage to the 162. Not quite sure. I'm trying to go back some more. Trying to see just where this happened. He's been like this pretty much since his lap began. Oh, this happened. Okay, here we go. This is where it happened right here. The Padres machine. Difficult week for the Padres this week. Got eliminated from the playoffs. Same thing with my Marlins as well. He missed the corner.
Oh.
That's fine. That's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Then he starts driving again, and happened? Did I go back too far?
I'd like to know how. Well, we're gonna find that out, Carlos. And
go ahead and fast forward. Oh, there we go.
well, there it is.
The engine just gives
Too much.
up.
Yeah, it was like, I've had enough of this.
Right there, yeah, you can start seeing the smoke come out. The RPM drops, 162 probes, as an engine that just gave way, and that's very early into the lap. So, I mean, granted, the engine's gone. That's a meatball flag. He's gonna be in pit road for a long time anyway. But that's just adding insult to injury. You have to now just drive around the rest of this track and go down pit road without getting in anybody's way. So you're slow. You're just a nuisance right now. Just dropping smoke, making it difficult. The only thing you're doing is you're killing all the flies, but there's no fans here because they're all oh no, the real life race had some fans. So I guess there are some fans here. So you did help out with that.
Yeah, of course. And you know what? Back on the baseball topic. I mean,
let's get away from the baseball topic.
Okay, that's probably a good idea. I'm just gonna say that I'm mad because of the Cubs and the Sox. You know.
Yeah.
Come on, Chicago teams. They couldn't get the wild card. Anyways, back to the racing subject here at the Charlotte Roval, broadcasted on 3 Wide TV. Still a pretty big gap here between Jonathan Delaney.
Don't.
You got me saying it. That was an accident. And Bryson Higginbotham. Still a pretty big gap here, as you can see on your screen. A 7-second gap, as it's been for quite a while now. It's just been around that 6-7 second gap. So, I mean, like we've mentioned, Carlos, I don't think that Higginbotham will be able to really catch up, or, well, mainly have a shot to win this race unless Jonathan Delaney messes up somehow, or, like you said, even gets a speeding penalty on pit road whenever that time comes.
Yeah. It's not something that Bryson is expecting for. Bryson needs to figure out the track. It's too late to figure out a setup. He can only make so many changes during a race for his setup. So he's kind of in a run what you brought type of scenario. Jonathan Delaney has a nice short run car, but we haven't seen how these vehicles drive in the long run. It's possible that Bryson could be faster in the long run, but it may not be looking like that's a good thing, because, you know, it's okay to be slow and have a long run car, but it's not okay to drop 10 seconds to the race leader and then expect that your long run part of the car to come in and catch up those 10 seconds. There's a little give, a little take that you have to do. You can't just plan for it to be one thing and just ignore the others. I'm not saying that's what's happening with Bryson, but if it's based on the results that we saw in stage 1, Bryson does not have the pace to win this race.
No, yeah, based on that, yeah, it doesn't. So, I mean, possibly some other guys. And it looks like Bryson Higginbotham almost.
Yeah, he backed off.
Yeah, him okay. Yep. But like I was saying, some of these other guys just not far behind them in position. At a restart, maybe they'll just have a great restart or something and possibly contend for the win up there. Because we still have another stage after this.
Yep, another stage, and that stage is going to happen very, very soon. We're going to have, actually, I said like 47 green flag laps in the stage race. This is a 109-lap race. So 47, add 9 to that. I suck at math. You guys can do the math yourselves. But that's going to be over 50 laps of green flag racing to end this race. Now, we do have some more chat interaction. Everybody, how are you all doing? We got the B team here. As we mentioned, Kevin and Andre couldn't be here tonight. We will tonight or whatever they are doing. But you got the B team here. You got the producer, Carlos, taking care of business, multitasking, and you got Nick.
Whoa.
Oh, what's up? Oh, yeah.
And I see some smoke, and that was the 53 of Preston McRae. I saw some smoke, and I couldn't see what happened. I just saw it. That was the number 53 of Preston McRae. We're going to take a look at the 3-wide TV replay.
Go back a little bit further.
A little too much. All right, here we go. So, 53 of Preston McRae. That's on your screen right now, running the Pepsi machine. And Yeah, let's get that camera angle a little bit different there, as that thing was in the way. Did he maybe?
Locked it up.
Yeah, yep, locked it up, and we've seen that be an issue here with Hicksonball. He locked it up, but not spinning wise. He kind of just got into the wall, but Preston McRae, no damage. He just spun it out a little bit.
Yeah, Preston McRae. We actually saw people cheering Preston McRae on the chat here tonight. We also have, pardon me, Zach Props. We got Robert Stone in the chat. I'm Benfield, Dan Fields. How are all of you guys doing tonight? I hope everybody is having a great time watching tonight. And then, of course, we also see... Hold on, I'm blind. I'm sorry. Russia. I don't know how to pronounce names too much. English is not my first language. McRae saying no with a sad, crying face. Noticing the number 53 have an issue there on track. Thankfully, though, he doesn't have any damage, and he appears to be running A-OK, of course. 19th place, 2 laps down. That's not where he wants to be, but should any drivers disconnect, should anybody get involved in some wrecks, he'll be back up to a nice...
Indeed, and... You know, like you said, midfield finish. I mean, some of these guys get caught up and just, yeah, have a midfield finish, as you mentioned, Carlos. And I just like to say, you learn something new every day. And the reason I say that is, I did not know that English is not your first language.
No, English is not my first language. No, it's not.
What is your first language?
Spanish. But, okay, well, it looks like Shia is saying, just call me Shia. So, Shia, nice to meet you. And hopefully Preston might be able to get up a little bit and get some more spots. He is driver 2 laps down in 19th. Josh Copperno, which is 6 laps down, running with a very damaged race car. We actually just saw him get lapped a little bit ago. So he is not in a position to pass another driver, as actually it looks like Preston McRae. Never mind, I thought something happened. No, he's doing good. So Preston McRae still running out in 18th place. The last driver 1 lap down is the number 5 of Alex Princeton. Randy Drumhiller is currently 17th. Wayne Grassi in 16th. Ryan Samuelson in 15th. And number 3 of Brian Mabry, currently the first car 1 lap down. Now, let's go ahead and take a look back at the points, because that's something we still need to talk about. Preston McRae, very important. He needed to have a good finish to advance. The way he's running, it doesn't look like he's going to make it to the round of 8. He's currently, to start the race, he was 3 points behind of Cam Caldwell. Preston is 19th. Cam is 5th. That's not going to be happening. And if he's only 3 points behind Cam, he's 9 points behind Damaris second bottom. Damaris is 7th. That's not going to be happening for Preston. Brian Mabry was the only other driver to possibly have a shot, because the number 31 and number 64 are not participating in tonight's race. Brian Mabry is in 14th, behind both of the 2 drivers that are already ahead. So Brian Mabry looks like he is also not going to. Is also 1 lap down.
Indeed, and you know what? It's with the 1 laps down, of course, that'll be Brian Mabry, the first car currently a lap down, with 13 cars on the lead lap. And like we've said earlier, Carlos, it's not that hard to get lapped, especially here. So, but it's a bit trickier to get your lap back, I'd say.
Yeah, no, I can say that. There's only one opportunity to get your lap back an easy way, and that's coming up in like 7 laps. All right, that's when stage 2 ends, lap number 50. So these drivers come on down, they finish the lap number 50. You're going to be seeing the ticker say lap 51, and then that's when we should be. That's your last chance. That's the only chance that Brian Mabry has of getting back in the lead lap. The only easy chance for him to get back in the lead lap. There is another way he can manually drive himself back to the lead lap, but that's going to be a lot harder. And honestly, I might just call hacks if you can do that, based on the speed that you've had. I'll be calling the police, and I'll be contacting iRacing. It's like, we have a hacker in here.
Well, you know what? Of course, iRacing using the easy anti-cheat, and apparently that's a very reliable anti-cheat. A lot of bigger games use it, so I think we can rely on that. It can, and you know what? They're making an effort though to stop that. They're trying what.
Oh, good. I would hope so. That there's an effort to stop the cracking.
Definitely. I read an article about it not long ago by the actual developers behind Easy Anti-Cheat, and they're working every so often, of course, trying to make it just impossible. They're trying to end cheating throughout their clients. So,
and that's not going to happen.
Including iRacing.
Yeah, that is impossible.
Yeah, of course, but they're trying to make it as hard as it can be, of course, and just making it even harder to where you feel like you'd be wasting your time trying to. And of course, it may be a while to where we get to that point where it's nearly impossible, because there's always going to be a new exploit out there, and that's really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate that somebody would even go and do that. I mean, it's always fun when you're actually just being able to race these guys instead of being able to cheat and quote unquote race these guys.
Yep, exactly. Especially for games that absolutely have no reason to even first place. I'm not talking about iRacing. I'm talking about other popular games that people are cheating on, that you literally get nothing, not even a physical or visual reward for winning, and people are still out there cheating. So cheating will always be there. It's those anti-cheat methods are essentially like locks. Locks are never going to be 100% a guarantee. There's always going to be a way around it. They're a deterrent. And the best that we can hope for is that as you mentioned it, people, like, it's so many things, so many layers to go through, that it just becomes kind of pointless to even try to break the code. Of course, people are always going to try to do that and cheat in general. And Mr. T,
whoa,
what's up?
I saw the number 61 of Kyle Amon, who's currently in 21st. He got a little loose, and I thought for sure he was going to spin out, but he saved it. And like we mentioned earlier, that it's easy. It's easy. It's easier to save these cars than it is going 180 plus miles an hour into a corner. So it's not super easy, but it's just easier.
Yeah, and Mr. T, sorry, I got a little shocked. Just wanted to make sure that that was actually your name and not something else, because I'm having to read this through a distance and my eyes are terrible. I'm not saying that people are cheating right now, but there have been documented cases of cheating in iRacing, and I saw some videos about that, especially with just toggling like instant speed. You would go from 0 to like over your car's top speed, like nearly 300 within seconds, and having your tires not wear or fade out at all. So there are cheats. I think those have definitely been patched out or something. But there will always be a method to cheat for something.
Yeah, and that's what's unfortunate. I mean, it's like I said, it ruins the fun. I mean, and of course, like, no one's cheating in here, but I mean, we got onto the topic where we were joking about, oh, we call hacks if this or that. But yeah, like, and now we're onto this topic, talking about how cheats will unfortunately always exist. But I mean, what these companies are doing is they're making it harder for these exploits to happen, and then, but once the exploit is finally found, it'll be known to the public if you look hard enough. And then they gotta patch that. They gotta, it's just, they're always gonna exist, and it's really unfortunate that you can cheat in these games.
Just want to go ahead and take a quick moment to tell people that today is World Mental Health Awareness Day. Yeah, today is World Mental Health Day, and World Mental Health
Whoa.
Day is observed annually on October 10th with the mission to help raise mental health awareness and to ensure that people living with mental illness can live better lives with dignity. Each year we are one step closer to achieving acceptance as a species, but it's still a long road ahead. And I have suffered through some mental health issues before. Something that's not easy to talk to, but there are always options out there for anybody that's suffering with mental illness, and just people who aren't. Just it's not necessarily easy to understand people have issues, but just being willing and being open to listen to that is one step closer that we as species can do to improve ourselves. So I just want to remind everybody that today, October 10th, is World Mental Health Awareness Day.
Definitely an important day of the year, and World Mental Health Awareness Day, as we mentioned just a second ago, very important. And I've had, whether it be close friends or distant friends that I've talked to online, even, like, it's definitely some of those have suffered through mental health, and it's just a very tough thing, and for some people to accept that somebody has issues with that. And it's definitely an important thing to remember that today, October 10th, is World Mental Health Awareness Day.
You're seeing right now the leader, Jonathan Delaney, kind of going through some lap traffic, and so we're getting to that point. We're entering the final lap of stage number 2. And
yeah,
go on.
And it looked like I didn't see what happened, but the number 16 was just like right on the wall, the very far inside wall. And I wasn't completely sure what happened. I didn't see when it happened. Might be able to go back a little bit here on the 3Wide TV replay. I don't know what happened, and we are a bit far back here, but we're gonna see what happened. So, locked it up, and that's the third time I've seen this issue. It's definitely something that's very common, apparently, that these guys are just locking it up, and that happens.
Yeah,
anyways,
the number 6, Delaney entering NASCAR 1 on the final lap, making sure only one driver ahead of him. So we're not really going to be expecting anything bad to happen here. Number 17, Christopher Hammond, last driver on the lead lap, is now the first driver one lap down. So that's good news for the 17, because he will get his lap back. Well, I guess it's not good news for the 17, but he will get his lap back. Horrible news.
Not terrible
for
news.
13th. That is Jack Anthony Durham, so he's not going to be getting his lap back. Brian Mabry in 14th was second driver one lap down, now the third driver one lap down. But Jonathan Delaney a little loosey-goosey there. I noticed at the last lap as well, but it looks like whatever he's doing is working. He goes across the start-finish line, wins stage number 2. So congratulations to the 6, absolute rocket ship, and we're going to be talking to him in a little bit as well. We're just waiting for the caution flag to come out.
Yeah, and like we were seeing at the end of last stage, it took about a good minute or so for the caution flag to
10th place is about a minute behind, actually.
Yep, so that's what we're going to be seeing again. I believe that the first 10 cars, the top 10 do have to pass, and then we will see the caution flag fly. We'll see that flag turn from green to yellow, and then he'll just be waving it like crazy. Be waving it like there's no tomorrow. I mean, we're going to be seeing that here in a little bit, once 10th place does make his way down to the start-finish line. And, of course, Jonathan Delaney, once again, being your stage winner, but for stage 2 this time. We're going to see what he can do in the next stage.
Crossing line right now.
Yep.
Caution's out.
And the caution is
Barney,
out.
go.
And that is... Go, Barney, go. And that is the end of stage 2. We're going to take a quick break and step away for the stage break. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back here with more coverage of the Galaxy Cup Series. Welcome back, everyone, to 3YTV's coverage of the Galaxy Cup Series. Saturday night, Charlotte Roval 400, where we're going to be making our way into Stage 3 here in just a little bit. The leaders, some guys coming down pit road, including your stage winner, Jonathan Delaney, who we'll talk to here in just a little bit, asking him about how his car is feeling and, of course, what he needs to do to eventually get that win here. Because, of course, this is going to be the final stage. No cautions other than, well, no, there's going to be no more cautions going forward because the first two stages have passed and it all comes down to this final stage. As we're going to let Jonathan Delaney catch up with the pace car, which he does. I'm going to find him and I'm going to drag him in right into our broadcasting booth. And there he is. Let's... Yeah, what a helmet. I love that thing. That thing surprised me last week, but I'm going to bring him into the broadcast booth. Jonathan Delaney, Nicholas Reese up in the 3YTV booth. Got a copy?
Yes, I do, guys.
Alrighty, sounds good. Well, you've been pretty much dominating the race. You've been up front, just an absolute rocket ship, and you've been going through lap traffic when needed, and how's it feeling for you?
It's feeling really good. We've been really fast. We've gone through lap traffic pretty well. We really haven't had a problem with them. But yeah, we're doing pretty good.
Alrighty, sounds good. And one more thing here. Now, before we get back to green, and of course, with the double distance now here in Stage 3, the final stage, what do you think that you need to do to secure yourself that win here at Charlotte?
Saver tires, really, and like I've been doing, just staying clean, consistent, fast. But we just need to keep doing that, and we'll be there at the end.
Alrighty, sounds good. Good luck on your rest of the race. I'll let you chat back with your team, or your team, I guess you could say, over at Highside Racing.
Thanks, guys.
Alright, that was Jonathan Delaney, and look at that helmet. Don't you just love that, Carlos? That's got to be the greatest helmet I've seen.
Every week, I always bring him up, or especially when I go to a rear camera like this, and then I see his helmet from a distance. I laugh, and I'm always sure to point that out. But yeah, Stage 3 coming up. It's going to be a long one, over 50 laps of green flag racing. I fully expect these drivers to go by through the field. Now, we did get a request from Robert Stone saying, hey, he wants to see more cars going around. Normally, I like to be on top of that, but trying to pull double duty. I'm trying to make sure I'm talking and saying things that aren't just trash, and trying to give you guys... apologize if I'm lacking a little bit, but he got a nice suggestion. We're gonna give every one of the cars that are running at least one lap of just full-blown coverage. So we're gonna wait a little bit once they go green, let themselves settle out first, and then I'm gonna go through each car one by one, and hopefully nobody wrecks and takes away from any moment of fame.
All right, yeah, all right. Definitely a good idea. We're gonna be able to see all these guys running here on the track. Get a little lap of fame, I guess you could say, here on 3YTV. And you just see Bryson Hicksonbaugh right there, and of course, seeing that right side damage, I kind of forgot that he had that. And you know what? Do you think that it's damaged enough that he won't be able to keep up with Delaney here on the restart?
I think that even without damage, he probably wouldn't be able to keep up. I think the damage doesn't help, but I don't think it's significant enough to hamper him that much. That being said, I just don't see the 63 having the short run pace to keep up with the 6. It's possible he may still have that long run pace, but he wasn't as far back as he was before compared to Stage 1, but he was still pretty far back. So that'll give the 6 of Jonathan Delaney 1, 2, maybe 3 minor mistakes. I think if he spins out, he's going to lose the lead, and definitely he'll lose the lead if he speeds through pit road. But that's something that Delaney probably knows about. It's probably in the back of his head. He probably knows, hey, I got a big lead. Just take it easy. Don't need to mess up. That being said, I've thrown away more good races taking it easy than I have taking it hard. Take it easy, you approach things a little bit differently, you go a little lax, and you make more mistakes. So I think Delaney needs to find the perfect balance of how much he needs to attack, how much he needs to conserve, and just what he needs to run. I think what he's doing now is working for him. I noticed he may have tagged the wall. He does have some front-end damage, but as I mentioned with the 63, it's more likely not enough, and I think the 6 just has everybody beat tonight.
Yeah, me too. And he sounded very confident over both of his interviews. You could tell that he knows that he's in a great position to possibly win this race. And the pace car goes down to pit road. These guys, we're gonna see how early Jonathan Delaney goes. He is off. Wow, that was even earlier than last time. And Hicksonball also with a good restart there. And
wrecking the
they're gonna pull away. Mainly, of course, Jonathan Delaney. Oh, and a wreck behind them. That has got to be the biggest one we've seen. Of course, no caution here, as we will not have a caution. These guys are going to be able to go on their own power. We're going to have a replay of that here on 3YTV. What happened here? It looked like
contact with the 48.
Yeah, contact with the 48 and just got in front of. Oh yeah, the 09 as well.
The 3 involved as well.
3 involved.
Drivers. I don't believe that's going to change anything in who's locked in and who's locked out. But that's heavy damage to the 12, heavy damage to the 09 at the Maris. Well, maybe not heavy damage to the 09, but the 12 definitely did get beat up. 3 gets involved there a little bit. Oof. It looked like the 12 didn't take off at first. Yeah, because he was not, he fell asleep behind the wheel.
Yeah.
And then that was fine. And it looks like he maybe, I don't know if the 48 was already there or he just didn't know what was going on. Let's go ahead and take an.
Yeah,
there we go, right there. I'm not sure if the 48 was there or the 48 drove himself there after. A little contact between the 48 and the 57. 48 was there. I'm not sure if the 12 probably knew that, Heavy damage.
Yeah, very unfortunate there for some of those guys, especially those in playoffs. And yeah, pit road, I believe that is the number 12. Yep. The number 12 coming down pit road. And
remember this, the number 12 only had a 3-point only 3-point lead to Preston McRae and Brian Mabry. And we know Preston and Brian did not get any stage points tonight based on them running outside the top 10 at the end of those stage finishes. But the 12 having that right now, he is currently listed as 11th, ahead of the 09 and now listed 12. That's still good enough to get him in though. That we're not seeing any changes. Maybe Mabry, I should say, not maybe. Mabry is only now 2 positions behind. And this is not counting any additional stage points he could have, and by he being the number 12, gotten throughout the race. I was not keeping track of where the 12 finished. So the 3, he's only 1 lap down if the 12 doesn't come out anytime soon, because he could have a meatball flag. And the 3 gets enough positions. Let's see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drivers, 2 laps down. Cameron Cantwell is actually back out on track. He's still on the lead lap, as from what is being shown. But if something happens, if an engine blows up, or he has the disconnection or whatever, that's enough positions. All right, 2 laps. That's going to be easy. That's 4 minutes. That's 2 minutes actually. No, 2 minutes. 3 minutes, I should say. That's 3 minutes of green flag racing, and I'm exaggerating. It's less than 3 minutes actually, but. If he disconnects, if he has an engine problem, has to go down pit road for 30 minutes, he's out of the playoffs. Granted, granted that's only if he hasn't scored a bunch of playoff points.
Yeah, and you know what? That definitely changes some of the picture for the playoffs. And of course, if they haven't scored a bunch of playoff points, it can change things. So we're gonna see how that all turns out after this. And there's the number 6 of your leader, Jonathan Delaney. as he's going to be coming up on just a little bit of lap traffic here, which is actually Cameron Caldwell. I believe he is still on the lead lap, but yeah, he's the last car on the lead lap in 12th. 12 and 12th.
Yeah. Now there's something I do want to bring up. I did not know this at first until I want to say a couple weeks ago when I noticed it. I just thought it was a visual glitch on the ticker. As you can see on the ticker for number 12 Cameron Caldwell, you see it says right now minus 1.35, and it'll mix around to plus 1 minute and something. I thought that was just a glitch. Turns out ATVO has this handy feature where if the leader's close enough, it'll switch it to let you know how many seconds back the leader is. I had no idea until a couple weeks ago, and I've been waiting for a moment to tell people, and I always forget. So that's something interesting. If you see that happening on our ticker, that just means that driver is getting close to being lapped.
Yeah, that's something. So ATVO has a bunch of variables. Their live gap variable there. Yeah, it's a very handy feature that's just built in right there in that variable, and you can see the minus and the plus. So how far back they are and how close the leader is to that car. As it looks like Delaney going to lap Cameron Caldwell, putting him 1 lap down, and you can see the damage on him. But of course, Bryson Hicksonbaugh, just a 1 second gap and falling back just a bit. He was close for the whoa, he gets a little loose. Yeah, he was. I know he was closer with your leader, Jonathan Delaney, and he actually got a little loose there, as we've seen from a lot of these guys. But of course, was able to save it. And these guys are just, if I'm Jonathan Delaney, from the get-go, I would have been like, all right, I'm leading this race. Just got to make sure that I'm a little easy on my tires, but to the point where second place can't catch me, but I'm still conserving my tires a bit. And I think he's pretty good for the rest of the race.
Yeah. Granted, he doesn't make a mistake or anything like that. The way it's going, this is Jonathan Delaney's race to messes up. That's going to be on him if he makes a mental mistake driving. If a lap down vehicle wrecks in front of him, it's a little different, but at the same time, you got to just make sure you take yourself and understand that things can go wrong.
Indeed, and it looks like Wayne Grassy has just parked it and has taken it to the garage, and he will be parking it at 3 laps down. He parked it, so I saw him. He was calling that he was pitting, and I wasn't completely sure why. I'm guessing I did see he had some damage, so I'm guessing maybe a little too much damage, and he had to come down, and he was like, forget it, too much, I'm not going to wait, and just took it to the garage.
Got another driver disconnecting here tonight early. Still, we still got a lot of drivers out there on the track. But the real question is, what's going to happen with Cameron? The damage he has, is it going to get worse? Can he hold on for the rest of the race? We've passed the halfway point a while ago. This 109 laps. About 5 or 6 laps ago, we passed that by. Still a lot of racing left, and ATVO is kind of telling me just over an hour worth of green flag racing. Can that vehicle survive an hour of that type of damage? Especially without the engine booing itself. If he survives, then he's going to hold on to events in the next round. But if he doesn't, and he has to disconnect, and enough drivers get by him, then we may be seeing him going home and not competing in playoffs anymore for this season.
Yeah, that'd be very unfortunate for him. And if I'm him, I'm just hoping that this car has enough for me to get through and just finish the race where I'm at, and so hopefully not much damage to where he'll need to just take it to the pits and where he'll be in a position to advance. I'm sure he's really hoping for that, Carlos, and someone who definitely we've talked about a lot, Jonathan Delaney. He's been up there the whole race, and I honestly think that it's the paint scheme related to the driver, Chase Elliott. Amazing at road courses. Everyone, when you drive at a road course, use a Chase Elliott paint scheme.
That's not a bad take at all, for sure. I do like most of the schemes that Chase. I mean, they're not sandbasses, of course.
No.
They're a clear difference, but they're still good paint schemes. I do like. But how about this paint team, the number 57 of Cameron Stone? Cameron Stone already locked in. He's making it to the next round. He's just having a nice, fun time in 5th place. As a matter of fact, it looks like he's kind of been there this whole race. Hasn't really improved or dropped down that much. So nice, simple, consistent day for Cameron Stone.
Indeed, and like you said, Carlos, he doesn't have to worry about anything. He's locked in after I believe he was the winner of last week's Talladega race. Yeah, that was the 1-2-3 high side racing little sweep there. 1, 2, and 3. So that was really cool for that team. And of course, Cameron Stone doesn't have to worry about not advancing. He can just chill. He knows that he's advancing. He's locked in. Oh, and he gets a little loose actually.
Hey, he wants to have some fun. Let him have some fun. He's able to take care of his
he's locked in. Yeah.
Yeah, something I'm noticing though, we've already gone how many laps? 7 laps of green flag racing. Bryson is doing a decent job of staying close-ish enough to Jonathan Delaney. He's still losing time, but he's doing a decent job of staying there.
Yeah. And he gets a little loose there, Carlos, as we say that. And but of course, still staying with your leader, the number 6 of Jonathan Delaney. And of course, he is falling back a little bit from time off of Jonathan Delaney, but
he's hanging there. I mean, if he can hold on to this pace.
Yeah, if he can hold on to this pace, and maybe even if Delaney makes a couple of minor mistakes, he can definitely maybe be a contender for the win.
It's possible. It's
it's.
I still think that Delaney might need to actually make a big mistake for Bryson to be there and capitalize on it. But if he stays close by 2 seconds, if he stays around 5 seconds, that's when that whole pit strategy thing you were talking about. You're asking me, if alternate strategy, could that work? If he stays around 5 seconds, it's possible it could work. Granted, he's already 4 seconds back, and we're only less than 10 laps into this stint, to this final stage. I don't think he's going to be able to stay within 5 seconds throughout the whole race, but the closer he stays, if he does in fact have a long run car, he could be there towards the end. I don't think it will, but he could be there towards the end.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, it all depends, like you said, how close he stays in. Looks like he had to let out a little early, almost scraping the outside wall, or the outside wall. And he is, of course, falling back a bit now, within about 4 seconds behind your leader, Jonathan Delaney. So I guess we're going to have to see on how close he'll stay as we go further on throughout the final stage here at Charlotte.
A good point for sure. Already it's first place, second place, 4 seconds back, third place, 11 seconds back, 11 and a half. 12 seconds back. It looks like my light timing and scoring is a little bit delayed. So it's Delaney. It's a Delaney show right now. Higginbotham, we're talking about him because he's the only one that's not 10 seconds back, and it looks like that he's actually gaining a little bit. He was over 4 seconds back. He's now under 4 seconds. Maybe something happened to Delaney. Maybe he's going through some lap traffic, or maybe just Higginbotham just got a good lap. But if he can keep it up, and as I mentioned, stay within 5 seconds, he might be in prime contention to capitalize from a mistake or two, as the 04 feud there got a little bit loosey-goosey for my liking.
Yeah, and I can assure you, you folks watching at home that there's no lap traffic that Jonathan Delaney has to worry about right now. I think he slowed up a little bit, just a little too much in one of the turns from what I was seeing, and I think that just something that minor just let Hixenbaugh just catch up just a little bit, but no lap traffic in the way for Delaney. I'm sure he's loving that right now. Of course, that may change later on. And, you know, he's just having a great run tonight.
Yep, well said, well said. So 45 laps remaining in this race. We know for sure these drivers can go 25 laps green flag racing, but how far do you think they can go on a tank of gas? And more importantly, do you think that they have to pit for tires before they have to pit for gas?
That's a good question, Carlos. You know,
taking a look at the lap time differentials. Now, granted, fastest lap and actual racing pace are different. Jonathan Delaney's best lap of this race is a 1 minute 17 seconds. 0.5. We're gonna round up. 117.5. Not bad. All right, that's good. From what I can see, that's the fastest lap of everybody that's participated tonight. His last lap was 1/10 away from being 1 minute 20 seconds. If we round it up to 1 minute 20 seconds, round up his best lap to 1 minute 17.5. That's 2.5 seconds slower than his fastest lap. And that's only within about 10 laps of green flag racing. It's not going to be as quick of a drop-off as those first couple laps, but the tires are going to drop off. And as I mentioned, staying within 5 seconds, which Hixenbaugh is actually at right now, if he pits 2, 3, 4 laps early, he may be able to get that time back. Granted, I don't think that he's going to be able to hold on to the lead, but you never know. You never know. Hixenbaugh may have something up his sleeve if he has to block for like.
Yeah, you know, anything can happen. You never know. Like you mentioned, Carlos, and
you know, about 32 to 33 laps on gas. So thank you so much, Adam Benefield, for that information.
Yes, thank you so much. That is great to know. And you know, yeah, I've been thinking about Hixenbaugh, and if he pits early, gains some time back on Delaney, and then I don't know, blocks for quite a few laps. I don't know. I don't think though now that he'll be able to stay in the lead and get the win. I think that this is Delaney's race if he keeps going at a pace which he is right now. So, like we said, I mean, we'll never know. We never know. We'll find out later.
Yeah, as Robert's saying, that 6 car is very smooth. I actually disagree, Robert. That 6 car is not smooth, but it's fast because of that. I see him, especially in some corners. I have to sit back up in my chair. In some corners, I see him, especially the last corner right before they cross the line. He's a little he's a little loose, gives a little bit too much brake. He's literally just shoving that car around, but he's making it work, and he's doing a great job. He's doing a great job at holding his car, his speed, and doing whatever he can to put down fast laps and hold on to the lead. But he does some things that scares me, and especially that last corner I was mentioning. He likes to dip 2 tires on the grass all the way on the outside. Well, I'm not a championship contending driver, so of course, clearly I can't see the benefit of that. But he's clearly making it work, and I guarantee you, if I try doing that, I'm going to end up with a wrecked car every single time.
Yeah, you know what? He's definitely making it work, and he knows what he wants to do. And I was just watching it there. He dips very close down to the grass. I mean, literally, it looks like from a chase view that, or from maybe a far chase view, that it looks like he's literally on the grass, his full left side, and from that angle. So it's He gets really close. I can tell you that much. Oh, and the 3-car goes around on the track. That is Brian Mabry. He gets running again. I saw that right in front of Delaney. Delaney had to get around that. We're going to see what happened here.
Too much beans.
Yep, too much beans, and I knew that we would see that. You could see Delaney avoiding that there. I had a feeling that we would see that sooner or later. Just too much beans.
Actually analyze what the 6 is doing. He's using the curbs maybe a little bit too much there. That definitely slowed him down for sure.
Okay, yeah, well that.
But that's not something he's doing all the time. Higginball already 6.2 seconds back. Higginball did a great job of not losing too much time. Here, hold on. He's going to get on the grass right there. He's on the grass.
There he is.
Those 2
exactly.
tires, I guarantee you I would be spinning out every time I tried that. I don't know what that 6 is doing, but he's got the grip. Every corner, using that smiley face, using the bumps in the corners to help shift the momentum and get his vehicle pointed where he wants to go. Not spending too much time. Yeah, he's not spending too much time.
Yeah.
Slowly embabying the corner. He's just gripping it and shoving it, and like what you do with a shopping cart before all the groceries are there. You just like shove it around so that you don't have to just casually turn it.
Great point, Carlos. And you know what? He's been doing that pretty much every single lap. Dipping those 2 tires down onto the grass, that left side of his car. And he got a little loose there. But you know what? He does that literally every lap, and it's working for him. I highly doubt it would work for me. I would go spinning. I can't even run this track. I'm not a road course guy here on iRacing. I do a little bit better in F1, but iRacing, not so much for me. I'm more of an oval guy, just the boring ovals. Good old oval. And we're going to see that tire dipping into the grass. Yep, there it is.
Getting word from Adam saying that that's actually not grass. And I know that in real life that's not grass either. That's AstroTurf. Which is good for the splitters, bad for your knees. Moment. It kind of looks like it's AstroTurf, but I'm not sure if it's actually just paved green or whatever runoff that is. If it's paved green to look like grass, but definitely like not the same material as what he's running on, and that's still lacking grip. We got Robert Stone saying, I believe the others have their camber too extreme or right height too low. Which it's possible, yeah. Everybody's out here. Possible. Remember, this is for the people who are new to this league. This is an open setup racing league. So it's not a fixed setup. Everybody kind of makes a setup and they race it themselves. Teams can share information, make their own setups for drive or whatever. So this is actually one of those series where I would want to be in the team, especially with somebody who kind of knows how to build the setup. I don't even know how to put on my pants in the morning. I can't even think about building a setup for a race car like this. Looks like grass.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it really does. But whatever that is, he right over it, and definitely not the same as the racing surface. Get a little loose there out of Jonathan Delaney. He's just driving it. He's not like babying it like we were mentioning. He's not doing that, and he's just driving that thing. Driving it with style.
100%, 38 laps to go. Currently 18 laps into this stint. So I'm about 32 to 30. 14 or 15 laps before they have to go down pit road. 17 massive front end damage. Last car on the lead lap, currently in 11th. Not that far off. So it's not like it's it's 17. A little bit too much there in the corners. As I actually just saw Robert's comment. 1 leg at a time, bro. Thank you, Robert. Now I know how to put on my pants in the morning. I needed that. But yeah, 17 heavy front end damage. Surprised that car has made it has made it so far this long into the race. So good. Whoever's building that machine is definitely deserves a race because still running. Granted, he's going to get lapped before the race is over at this pace, only 3.5 seconds behind the race leader. What's it called? Still doing a good job. Going to be a nice, consistent finish. Adam saying iRacing messed up with the graphics and brought the grass over too much. So while it does look like grass on our end, I believe what Adam is saying, that it's actually still paved. Adam, do you know if it's the same as the racing surface or if it's just something else? Either way, it looks like, even in real life, I believe, that's still painted over. So there's still less grip than you would have on the racing surface.
Yeah, and you know what? Yeah, I mean,
12 in pit road.
Oh yeah, that's 12 of Cameron Caldwell. We were saying that he's hoping to hold on to that car, and I don't know why he's going down. Was it for tires or maybe repairs that he needed?
Can't make
I mean,
here.
No, I'm thinking that might be. It looks like he's staying in for repairs, and that's definitely not something that you want to have to deal with if you're Cameron Caldwell, because of course he didn't want that. He's a playoff contender, and he needed to stay where he was at for to advance. So looks like we may be
running normally.
Looks like we may be getting
No replay. Just wanted to make sure that his engine didn't blow or anything. He's still in pit road, and he's been there for a while now. And now the question is, Brian Mabry is going by right now, and that should be putting him ahead of Cameron Caldwell. And there we go. So now Brian Mabry is ahead. So Cameron Caldwell is still in pit road, and he's there for a while now. Something happened. I'm not quite sure what it was, but he's in pit road. Let's go ahead and pull up the points graphic one more time. Cameron Caldwell's entered tonight's race, 3,060 points. I was about to say ahead of 9th place. That's not true. He came into this race 3 points ahead of 9th place Preston McRae. Brian Mabry, who is right now ahead of him. Brian Mabry is currently in 13th. All right, Caldwell is 15th. All right, Mabry has a deficit of 9 points. So that's 9 positions he needs to be ahead of Cameron, not counting any positions that he could have gained, or any points he could have gained through stage plays. Find a way to verify how many points he got and whatever. There's currently 7 drivers within a lap of the number 12. Taking a look at the number 12 now. The number 12 is currently 18th, still in pit road. The number 61 account 8 laps down. All right, it's a lot back, but he could get another position there, and he could lose another position there. So Cameron Caldwell, if he goes to 19th, which is going to be the last, that's the worst he's going to drop, because Wayne Grassi is out. Josh Coppernall is still in pit road, and Zach Probst are. I believe they both are done for the day. Brian Mabry, 2 laps down. If he can get ahead of the 217, then there will be 7 or so spots between them. That's not enough. So I actually do think that Cam is good for the night. Now, the other driver we had to worry about was Preston McRae. Preston McRae is currently 3 laps down in 17th place. He is 1 spot ahead of Cameron Caldwell. Is one of 3 drivers, or pardon me, one of only 2 drivers, 3 laps down. The other driver is the number 5 of Alex Brinson, who's actually right ahead of him. He can pass that. If he can pass that car, then there's going to be 1 car between them, as opposed to just no cars between them. So that'll be 1 point for Alex. He's still 2 points behind. Even if Kyle is able to pass Cameron, then he'll be 1 point behind, not counting any possible stage points number 12 got. So for Preston McRae to advance to the next stage, there needs to be a wreck involving maybe a couple more drivers. Maybe just a couple more drivers that are for sure out of the race. That being said, I don't see that happening. Everybody's separated. Everybody's doing a good job. Everybody's driving it smoothly and not wrecking into each other, minus that stage 3 restart.
Yeah.
I think Cameron's going to be in this. It's not over. Definitely not over. We still have 34 laps to go, which kind of also tells me in about a lap or two, pit stops are going to be open. Well, pit stops are already open, but that's when the strategy can come to play. Cameron Stone is 24 seconds behind. Cameron Stone, wait. What happened to the 63?
Wow.
Place.
Okay, yeah.
He went down pit road. 63 already went down pit road. I'm assuming 34, 35 laps to go. So he thinks he can make it the rest of the way. Only 30 seconds back. He hasn't actually put down a lap time yet, as ATVO is giving me still issues. Telling me that the issue is not with my theme, but the issue is with ATVO itself. So I gotta look into that. Let's see what the last lap for Bryson was. 1 minute 18 seconds .72. Well, Jimmy Costarella's 1 minute 22.54. Timing screen refuses to open. Jonathan Delaney's last lap was a 1 minute 21. So 1 minute 18. They're about the same. 1 minute 18 to a 1 minute 20. Now 1 minute 20.9. About 1.5 seconds off. Almost 2 seconds off. It could be getting to that point. I don't think that's enough. I think he was close to over almost 10 seconds back to Jonathan Delaney, him being the number. So it's going to be difficult. I still don't see it happening. But Jonathan, if he makes a mistake in pit road, because I don't see him wrecking. I don't see him making a mistake either, but between those two things happening, there's a better chance of him speeding in pit road than there is of him wrecking in this race. If Jonathan makes a mistake in pit road, that could be the end of his race.
Yeah, and you know what, Carlos? If I'm Jonathan Delaney, I'm just hoping that when I come down pit road, that I just have a perfect stop and I don't speed and I just have a great stop in, because one thing like that can just ruin this race that you've been dominating, like pretty much every lap. So, it's definitely something that you're gonna have to be cautious about. Just remember, just take it easy, have a perfect stop, don't make any mistakes down pit road, and you're good. Yeah, and then he doesn't have really anything to worry about. And like you mentioned, I don't see him making any mistakes on the track. I don't think that he'll be involved in a wreck or something like that. I can't see that happening from Jonathan Delaney.
Neither can I. His last lap was 1 minute 19, so that pace is already starting to slow down. 3 laps into this last stint that he's doing. The question is, we were told about 32 to 33 laps. He probably went down 34, maybe 33 laps to go. So it's possible. I do think he can make it the rest of the way. I just don't see strategy working out for him. We see Cameron Stone. Yeah, Cameron Stone also went down pit road. So we got pit stops happening now. Question is, when is Jonathan going to pit? Is he going to pit early? Because if he pits early, then Bryson's shot is.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm not completely sure. Yeah, if he pits early, yeah, that's Bryson's strategy just completely gone out the window. But yeah, I don't know. We're going to see what Jonathan Delaney does, as we're currently in lap 80 of 109 here at the Charlotte Roval. I'm not completely sure what Jonathan Delaney's going to do, of course. I mean, we're not inside of his head. We don't know when he's thinking about pitting. I guess we're just going to have to find that out and see what happens from there.
I feel like that gap should be bigger. 24 seconds back for going down pit road. He was... That... Something's telling me that maybe iRacing timing is wrong. Because he took 4 tires. He was in pit road in his stall for 14.8 seconds. That's a little bit longer than I would have actually liked to be in. And his pit stall time was 40 seconds on the dot. Just the pit lane time, 40 seconds. He's only 23 seconds behind. His lap times haven't been that big, and it hasn't been that many laps to warrant this much of a change. So I'm thinking that there's an issue with telemetry.
You know, it may be that may be the case, and that's happened before. And I've seen that on broadcasted races. Of course, that's nothing with ATVO. It's iRacing, the live timing. I mean, because it's showing up on my results page that he's 25 seconds behind Delaney. I can't see that being true. I don't. I'm thinking it might be an issue with telemetry.
I just fail to see how he could be 25 seconds. I do understand the fact that he's running faster lap times. Yes, that's acceptable. Fresher tires. He's only been running for 6 laps. So 6 laps at about 2 seconds. 6 times 2 is 12. All right. 40 seconds. He was probably about 8, maybe almost close to, let's say 10 seconds behind the race leader. 10 seconds plus 40. That's 50 seconds back. He's still going to be in the lead lap. That's fine. That's planned. You take away 12 seconds out of that, then you're from 50 seconds. Then you're at 38, and as the 6 goes down per road, so we're really going to see what's going to happen here. It's a little fast there. I'm a little worried. He's fine. 36 seconds.
Yeah.
All right. He should not be 25. He should be like 36 seconds back. Imagine it. Okay, so Zach's saying it's accurate. He's timing it. He's saying the telemetry is right.
Oh.
There's Bryson. Bryson's going across the start finish line now. Boom. First to 63, or worst to 6. He's still in his stall. Bryson's gonna get the lead out of this. Yeah, he's got the lead.
And Delaney's just now taking his
He's just leaving.
2 left side tires. Yep, he's just leaving. Wow, okay, this is good for Hixenbaugh, and as Jonathan Delaney, of course, comes out of the pit safely. Oh my gosh, imagine if you just kind of went over that blue line and you have to...
don't remember. Watkins Glen is horrible with that.
Yeah, I've had that issue one too many times there. Yeah, but yeah, that would be a little bit of an issue. But he exited the pit safely, and wow, he got really close to just smacking the wall, but he didn't. Oh, he got close again. Come on. Getting very close for Jonathan Delaney, but now your new leader, Bryce Hixenbaugh. So
he hasn't led a lap yet, though. He's going to lead the lap when he crosses our finish line.
Yeah.
We're going to go ahead and just listen in for... What's up?
It looked like the number 3 of Brian Mabry almost got in to the left side of Jonathan Delaney. It got really close. I thought they were going to touch, but they didn't. But I was
the number 63 of Bryson Hixenbaugh is just destroyed Jonathan Delaney's perfect race. Led a lap.
Wow. Yeah, and you know what? I'm wondering, will he be able to hold off Jonathan Delaney for the rest of this race and block enough? No.
The question
okay,
is,
yeah.
This is not an oval, so it's gonna be harder for you to actually be able to defend yourself. You can go shallow to some corners, block the inside, and kind of force them to go on the outside. You can only do that for so many laps before they just go by you either way, or B, what's the term? You mess up your line because of that. It's a lot harder to block and hold your position in a road course than it is in an oval. There's just so many variables, so many things that you have to account for, and you kind of have to be running those lines as they should be run to prevent that. Okay, so now Delaney only 3.4 seconds back. With 27 laps to go, he's gonna get there in the next 2 laps, maybe 4 or 5, if Delaney's just taking it easy. But once he gets there, it's only gonna be a matter of time before he gets by Bryson Hixenbaugh.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm sure that Hixenbaugh is happy that he's finally able to lead a few laps. And oh yeah, I mean, that is quite the lap time difference. I mean, you see Hixenbaugh running the 120, almost a 121, and then you see Delaney running a 117.5, and Jonathan Delaney hit the wall, and we're gonna get a replay of this. I saw that looking down on my screen for what you guys are seeing, and we're gonna try to get a replay of this here on 3Y TV. And
there we go.
Yeah, so there's Jonathan Delaney, and he just didn't turn left enough and hit the wall.
It kind of looked like a little bit of a netcode wall hit. It kind of looked like he also hit the wall there again. I only heard one sound, and I don't. That's not the first time he's done that. I think he's hit that wall different because he's already had that front end damage before.
And here he is.
There he is, right there.
Yep. So that he said that wall's not gonna stop me. Now to the bumper of the 63. I saw them touch.
Contact!
Oh, he almost turns the number 63 of Hixenbaugh. He got him a little loosey-goosey and made the run. So
Delaney was not having that. Let's go back again. Go on board. The 63, no doubt about it. No questions. He was going to block. That's the only thing he can do. Delaney was not having it. Said, I am there, and he used his bumper.
Oh. And Hixenbaugh hits the outside wall, the same one that Delaney hit. So that's going to put him even further back off the pace of Jonathan Delaney. So that was, I was wondering if he was going to give the 63 a little bump and just kind of get around him. So, and he did. So, yeah, now it looks like Jonathan Delaney back where he is used to being, especially for this race here, up in front, gonna lead the lap, coming to the line here to enter lap 86 of 109. As just a little bit of lap traffic here, that is Damaris Hickenbottom right in front of him. I'm sure he'll get around him and continue his rocket ship journey to space, aka the win.
Definitely well done by Delaney. He's just been absolutely quick every single lap. I was wrong. I said he'll be there in about 2. I was just trying to. I thought, 63 got a little loose there, but I thought that my numbers were just too soon. But joke was on me. He got there that same lap, and made the move that same lap too, within seconds of us saying that he was there. So 63 did not want to waste any time about that. No issues on pit stop, so that's gone. I don't think this Jonathan Delaney is going to make a mistake on track. It can happen. I just don't think he will. This is currently his race to win. This is his. He's going to take it home. He's going to do the best he can to win it. If somebody wrecks in front of him, if he makes a mistake, that's different. But the way I'm seeing it, we're going to be seeing lock himself into the next round and go into the round of 8 with confidence.
Yeah, definitely well said there, Carlos. And yeah, Jonathan Delaney, I mean, he's just been riding up here. And of course, with the exception of Higginbaugh leading those last couple of laps, but Jonathan Delaney definitely just dominating this whole entire race. Now, like you mentioned, if all goes to plan and nothing happens in front of him which he gets involved in, or somehow something really bad happens, this is his race to win. Like, it's pretty much no doubt about that. Like, unless, like we mentioned, he got involved in something. But like, if none of that happens and all goes to plan for Jonathan Delaney, it's his race to win.
Well said. Well said. We're gonna go ahead and go on board Delaney for just maybe a lap or two, and just listen to the way he drives and handles his vehicle around. Go back to commentating these last 20 laps to go. Right. Well, we got to see some laps or some in-car driving from some of these drivers out here. But I have been made aware that it looks like Josh Coppernoe has been released from the infield care center. And Josh, how are you doing, man? As a 16 spins out of the track and he's getting himself back in position. Josh, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Well, clearly you are out of the racetrack, and I'm assuming your night is done. A glimpse into just what happened.
Yeah, it just car was all over the place. Well, more of a driver error. I'm just not a road course driver at all, but the car was great. Had a pretty fast one that I just couldn't really figure out myself.
I think it might be just wise idea to just put this week behind you, move on to the next week. Begins next week, beginning of course the round of 8. You're not currently competing for championship, but you excited for next week?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think Kansas is going to be a great track. Run pretty well at Kansas most of the time anyway. It should be a good one, so we're going to go back there.
Go ahead and let you get off, and go on home and enjoy the rest of your week before you start preparing for Kansas. But before we do that, do you have any shout-outs you want to give out?
Yeah, the guys at the PBR shop. Also, Braden Hill, who runs Hillhaven Motorsports, which I used to be a part of. No longer part of that team, but he provided the set that I was running with this week. Also helped me figure out this track a little bit better. So I gotta thank him. But yeah, just you guys at the PBR shop as well. Like I said, Cam Caldwell for helping me as well figure out how to get around this place.
All right, well said, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. You have a good night.
Thank you. You as well.
All right, Nick. Well, we heard from Josh there. Disappointing night for him over. Looking forward to the next week at Kansas, and that should be a fun race. Kansas is always going to be a blast, and especially for opening this round of 8, where only 4 drivers get to go home in advance. I don't know. What are you thinking? Do you think who's going to shine there in that race?
Ooh, you know what? I'm not completely sure on that one, Carlos.
I think
I
it's
don't
going to be
know.
Bryson. Bryson's usually good at these
Ah.
mile and a halves, and he's got a bunch of wins already under his belt this season. But I'm not going to really. I'm just going to hold my tongue until we see some practice times. We don't really get to talk about it too much, but we are not operating out of our traditional broadcast booth in our Discord. We're broadcasting out of the Galaxy Cup Series Discord, so we get a little sneak peek as to what these guys do throughout the week, and a lot of them are practicing even ahead of time for the next race event, and you get to see some lap times, you get to see some setups being shared and discussions going on about. So we get a sneak peek as to see who might be dominant. I'll keep my I'll keep my mouth shut until we can see what some of these guys have. I mean, naturally my eyes are already shut because of my eye, but I'm still here.
Yeah, indeed. And you know what? Yeah. Like you said, we have like access to see like what these guys mainly are talking about. These guys talk about like they also sometimes give like different tips how to run the track and different things. Of course, that's pretty self-explanatory at like a 1.5 mile oval. Like, I mean, like they talk about it and we see like, oh, I'm doing good. I think I'm doing good. I need a little bit more practice, and it's always nice to see that. So we get a little bit of a sneak peek, as you mentioned, Carlos, to see what guys are confident, maybe what guys do well, and you know what? We also
I just
have access to like. What do you realize?
Preston McRae is 3 points behind Cam Caldwell. Preston McRae is 15th. Cam Caldwell, Cam, is 19th. That's a difference of 1, 2, 3 spots.
Yeah, that is interesting, as you mentioned. I mean, that's a great point there, Carlos. And honestly, you scared me a bit. I thought you were gonna say that you forgot to unmute our mics.
Oh no, it's been such a long time.
I got a little worried. All right, yeah, I got a little worried. I mean, I thought that may have been something that you would do. Yeah.
That is something I have done before.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, yeah, so you never know. So, thankfully it wasn't that.
Hey,
but yeah, that was a great point.
So, all this excitement we've been manufacturing, I actually just took to the Galaxy Cup Twitter because I noticed they've been tagging us recently. And shout out to the Galaxy Cup Twitter if you need to find out where they are. It's at Galaxy Cups League. So, at Galaxy Cup League all together. So, that's where they're at. They posted a screenshot of the finish for stage number 2. Cam Caldwell finished 4th, so that is 6 points bonus. And just those 6 points alone, I don't even need to look at where he finished in stage 1. He finished 7th in stage 1. That's 9 points that he's earned for finishing in the stages. We know that the other 2 drivers outside of the cutoff did not get any points in the stages. So, with just those 6 points alone, there is not enough drivers for Preston McRae, or pardon me, there's not enough drivers for Cam to get passed by. Because everybody, he's dropped down the most he's going to drop down. It's 16 laps to go. Nobody else is close to win pathing him. And also everybody else behind him is parked. They're in the garage. Preston McRae will need to pass an additional 6 feet. He's 4 laps down. There's one driver 4 laps down. That's Ryan Samuelson. He'll be able to do that. However, everybody else, there's 3 drivers 3 laps down. But without there being a caution, he's not going to be able to pass anybody. So, Cameron Caldwell's pretty much essentially in for the next round of the playoffs. Granted, any penalties or anything like that, which I don't think is going to happen tonight, but he should be in for the playoffs. The 4 that were out going into this race are going to be out. It looks like that's going to be it. Simple as pie. We got JC saying 42 will not win Kansas. AC, Josh Coppernoll. Assuming that's you, Josh. If not, then I am. Saying that the 42 is not going to win Kansas. Also saying huge shout out to Adam Kuhn for running the Galaxy Twitter account. So Adam, huge shout out to you. I've noticed you guys followed me, or by quote unquote followed me. You guys followed the 3YTV Twitter accounts a couple days ago, and you guys have been active very soon. So that's awesome. That's fun. They've been posting some good updates. So if you're on Twitter, feel free to check out the Galaxy Cup Series Twitter on at Galaxy League, or pardon me, Galaxy Cup League, I should say, to find some nice content. Brendan Pierce is down pit road. He was in 10th when this happened. Nick, we have about 14 laps to go. John, 17-second lead.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like we mentioned, I mean, shout out to Adam over at Galaxy Cup League. Definitely be sure to follow them on Twitter for anything related to the Galaxy Cup Series, really. And I mean, I guess I kind of helped out since we were able to see where Cam Caldwell actually finished in Stage 2, so definitely helped us backtrack a little bit there to see his stage points. So yeah, definitely big shout out to them on Twitter. And now just on lap 96 of 109, we're getting close to ending this race. And Jonathan Delaney, he's just got to be like, it's muscle memory at this point. He's just doing the same thing over and over. Nothing to worry about. I mean, sure, there's a little bit of lap traffic that he may have to worry about, but rarely, I mean, just barely any. And, he can do this in his sleep pretty much, and he'll come home with the victory here tonight, unless, of course, something big did happen, but I don't think we'll be seeing that here, especially in the closing laps of this race.
Well said, well said. I don't even think anybody is close enough. The closest thing I can see is battle for third, Cameron Stone and Nick Costarellas. Or pardon me, sorry, Jimmy Costarellas. About 3.2 seconds of a difference. But that's kind of been that way all night. They're running laps fairly close to each other. Of course, I say fairly close to each other, and then I see it was a 123 to a 121. So call me a liar, but it's fairly close-ish to each other. So I'm not expecting these guys to get that close. I say this, but now he's 1.3 seconds back. We have a battle happening soon. We're gonna be seeing a battle for third place. I'm just gonna say it. I'm not even gonna say it. Sorry. It looks like we're gonna have a battle for third. Oh no, the 25 gets a little loose.
Oh yes, he did. I just saw that on your screen here, and that is the number 25 of Costarellos. And you know what? I mean, that was a little interesting. Thankfully, he was able to save that.
I remember correctly. I love this paint scheme. I'm a huge Chef Gordon fan. I believe this is the paint scheme he won at Talladega in 2007. The second race.
Yeah, well, hey, there you go. I mean, paint scheme fits. and you're good. So, Gasparello's currently in 4th, I believe, and yes, he is. So, we may have a battle brewing for 3rd here soon, but I mean, he's kind of catching up on him a little bit. We're gonna see what these guys do. As I mean, of course, the 25 got a little loose earlier. That took just a little bit of time off, but it looks like he's starting to catch up a little bit here.
It would have been a much faster lap time had he not gotten loose, in the next section, of corner coming up very soon. I do think Jimmy's gonna catch up and possibly pass Cameron Stone. There's plenty of lap times. That's 12 laps left. About 15 minutes worth of left of green flag racing remaining in this race. So 15 minutes is still a long time. All right, that's half a SpongeBob episode. In 15 minutes, that's enough for somebody to spin out. That's enough for Delaney to get disconnected. Should, let's say, or let's not say his internet goes out or whatever. All that can change. Things can change in a minute. Things can change in 15 minutes. I don't think they will, but they can.
Yeah, I mean, anything can change in 15 minutes if he had Spectrum Internet. All right, yeah, I had to bring that up when we were talking about disconnecting and stuff. But you know, speaking of disconnecting, and it wasn't an internet issue, but who manually disconnected was Cameron Caldwell in the number 12. He has taken it to the garage. He is retired from the session and will not be turning any more laps here tonight.
We were told, and I may have to scroll up to find this. Guess what, guys? You guys have been active enough in chat that I have to see. Somebody said they were going to come back with like less than 20 laps to go, and I want to see if they're back or not. Where this was. Nick, why don't you go ahead and continue talking?
All right, sounds good to me. That's what I do best at, talking. You can ask my parents for confirmation on that one. Anyways, currently, of course, Jonathan Delaney, I don't even have to say it. Of course he's leading. He's been leading. I've been saying that so much, and it's almost like it's a given. Of course he's leading. He's just dominating this race, and we have hit lap 100 here out of 109. So,
Nick,
under 10 laps to go. And what now, Carlos?
I found out who was the one who said they'd be back with about 20 laps to go, and that is none other than Zach Probst. In the Padres machine, of course, Padres not having a good week to attention, and all right, the 162 also getting in the grass. But he said he'll be back in track with about 20 laps to go. 10 laps to go. All right, I'm not quite sure exactly when he got it back on track, but he is back on track. So shout out to Zach Probst for being true to his word. He got back on track.
Hey, that's good, and you know, he knew exactly how it was gonna go, I guess. Yeah, coming up here on lap 101, just a little under 10 laps to go. As now we are 9 laps to go here at the Charlotte Roval.
I do also want to point out that Zach, the driver closest to him, is 13 laps ahead of him, Cameron Caldwell. There's only 9 laps remaining in this race, so Zach is actually not going to be gaining any positions. Cameron is going to be stuck at 19th, and that's the lowest he'll drop.
Mm-hmm.
And Robert Stone saying, we got somebody taking a shortcut, yo. Yeah, he took a shortcut, but I also would like to say that it took him more time to go through that than it would have been racing in the normal paved section.
Yeah, and of course with Caldwell, I mean, dropping out, there's no reason, I mean, he wouldn't unless he wanted to keep on driving, but of course, Zach Probst won't have enough to gain any position on... Whoa, and it looks like Jonathan Delaney got a little too much going over the turtles, and, you know, we're going to take a look at this again. You know, here, we're going to watch this replay. Watch this. He got a little loose right there.
Yeah, he missed it, yeah.
He missed the other ones, and yeah, so I thought that, I mean, that was a little minor mistake, but obviously not enough. Anything like, oh, and he scrapes the wall just a little bit.
He's been doing that.
But Hicksonbaugh obviously, not enough for Hicksonbaugh to catch up. But
Oh
I mean,
that
a minor mistake like that, it doesn't hurt.
that first set of curbs actually over rotated his car and prevented him from even hitting the inner curbs in that corner.
Yeah, that's what I was seeing there, and wow, Delaney gets so close to that wall, and he may scrape it a little bit, but he's pretty good at avoiding it, just being right up there to not make contact. It's really close to it, and of course it's gonna be low down here in the turn, but he'll stay up there. And he's good at doing that along with these other guys. So he gets right up there, and he's gonna slow down, and hopefully he can do this a little bit better to his liking like that this time around.
Smooth and consistent for Jonathan Delaney. 8 laps to go, getting ready to enter this final set of corners here to get 7 laps to go. About 10 minutes worth of racing, green flag racing. No more cautions coming out. And he's got a 24-second lead to Bryson Hicksonbaugh. Life is going good for Jonathan Delaney right now. And, best of all, I'm not seeing any lap traffic ahead of him. Oh, okay, no, I see one ahead of him. But that's it.
Hey, I mean, yeah, that's it. I mean, like, he doesn't have to worry about much, and we've seen him. He'll get through lap traffic like it's nothing. I mean, he's just gonna get through him and act like he was never there. So, yeah,
sorry,
I do
hold
see.
on.
I'm thinking that's 2 cars up there.
Wait, no, something happened to Bryson.
What's up?
He was 24 seconds back.
Oh, and now he's 41. Yeah, so he
Bryson
was 24 at the last lap.
made a mistake in the bus stop.
Wow, yeah, I saw that on my live timing. I thought it was iRacing.
Yeah,
being
by
interesting.
himself.
Wow.
Too much
And just
brakes.
like that. Too much brakes, yeah. And just like that, what would have been, that's really interesting. And of course, he's still chilling in second, so not anything bad for him. But yeah, wow, that was quite the drop. At the last lap, it was 24 seconds behind the leader. And now it turned to what, 41 seconds behind the leader at the time of the line?
Yeah, 42 seconds now. Cameron Stone was actually close by, and he still is. He's right there. But Cameron Stone just doesn't have the pace that Bryson has to be able to even do something about that. Now, this was a mistake that Bryson was hoping that Jonathan Delaney would do. Of course, 24 seconds back, that I would consider that to have been a small mistake, and I would say probably a 2 of those. What's up?
Jonathan Delaney must have gotten the loosest I've seen, and he saved it. That was going into NASCAR 1. We're going to take a look at a replay of this, and you're going to see him. He'll get a little loose. Right? Coming into the turn right there.
That's fine, though.
Little loosey there. Yeah, obviously. It's always nice when you're able to correct that and just keep going on. I said whoa there because it was happening right all then and there. I didn't know what was going to happen, but he was able to save it, as he's always been able to do, and that was the loosest that I've seen Delaney out front.
I've seen them looser getting ready for that last corner. But 5 laps to go here at the Charlotte Roval. These guys are almost done running 400 miles here, a full-length race in, I want to say, how much time have we in? Just over 3 hours. This race has potential to be under 3 hours long. We're not quite sure. Yeah, as Robert says, these guys have got to be getting tired. This track is brutal. I'm kind of picturing these guys kind of like how how was it again? I'm picturing these guys just being incredibly tired, fatigued. Hopefully all these guys drank enough water, because hours doing the same activity, you're not having enough water. You may get some arm muscles cramping, maybe some leg calf muscles cramping. Those are the worst though. The legs ones, oh man, especially when you wake up in the morning and you just move and your whole leg just seizes up and it hurts. But these guys, hopefully they're all getting ready to finish this race without any issues.
Yeah, and I mean, we are just now 4 laps to go here at the Charlotte Roval 400, and of course the Galaxy Cup Series. So, Jonathan Delaney dominated this whole entire race up until now, and I'm positive we're going to see him dominate the last 4 laps here. And he's just had a great run tonight, and I'm sure he'll be happy to finally stop just doing the same thing over and over again and take home that virtual victory here at the Charlotte Roval. So definitely we're gonna see what he'll do here. So
I do want to say this. Cameron Stone has actually been doing a decent job of staying with Bryson Higginbotham, and it actually looks like he's been running lap times faster. This last lap was actually a second faster than Bryson, and he's getting there with 4 laps to go. We may have a battle for second place on our hands that could be resolved on the last lap.
You know what? I mean, that may happen coming up now on 3 laps to go, and we may actually see a battle brew in, what is that, for third? Or no, for second.
Yeah, second
right?
place.
Yeah.
We also
that
have
would be
JC.
second.
Shout out to my boy JC in the chat, saying, not sure if you guys know, but it's worth mentioning. John Delaney, he won the pole and led every lap.
Hold on. Jonathan Delaney just went through or what we call grass and hit the inside wall. That was pretty big there for him. Of course, it won't be a big issue, but it definitely lost a little bit of time there.
Wow, yeah, it did not.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a big hit.
Yeah, that is a pretty big hit. He's hoping he'll be able to hold on. I'm sure he will be. We're gonna see here. I mean, it's looking like, yeah, he's not. I think he's still good. That was a pretty big hit, though.
Oh, he'll be fine. Yeah, that
he'll
looked
be
harder
fine,
than
but
it actually probably was.
Yeah.
But that's scary. Those are one of those small mistakes you cannot afford to do. Well, I guess he can afford to do because of his massive lead, but he did lose some time. Cameron Stone is staying with Bryson, but I'm not sure if he's able to keep the same pace now that we brought it up. Now the question is, did Delaney fully break something? What's going on with his car? Is it handling fine? It looks like it is. He's gonna approach the same corner once again. Looks like he took it very easy that time by making sure not to make a mistake. Wise choice for John. It looks like he just either he panicked and thought he got loose and then autocorrected and that shoved him out into the outside wall, or his car actually did get loose and it just autocorrected into the outside wall. But going back to what I was saying, JC is saying that John last night he earned the pole, he won the pole and led every lap in last night's Galaxy Truck Series race. So fantastic job. He got himself a perfect race last night. He does not have a perfect race tonight. There were a couple laps that Bryson Higginbotham did lead during the green flag exchange. Still not fully sure how that happened, but we are getting ready. He's going to cross the line. One more lap to go here at Charlotte Roval.
One lap indeed. And you know what? I'm so used to just when the leader crosses the line at the last lap and the checkered comes out, I'm used to it being over right away. But we're going to have to wait for these guys, of course. We're going to have to still watch over the guys behind your leader once he passes the start-finish line for the last time here for the other guys to finish, of course. I'm used to it, like, with ovals, they're all just coming at the same time, and it's all over right then and there. But like we've seen with the stage finishes, it takes some guys a while to get fully around. I mean, it's a road course. You're going to see that. But yeah, Jonathan Delaney, this whole race is dominated. Of course, with the exception of a few laps where Bryson Hixenbaugh did come in and lead a few of those laps after pit stops, but not too long after, Jonathan Delaney took the lead back. Now coming up on just to the start-finish line here in just a little bit, Jonathan Delaney is going to win here at the Charlotte Roval 400 as he will cross the line. Jonathan Delaney, and I gotta say, I wasn't even surprised to say that name here at the end. But of course, back in the pack, we have Bryson Hixenbaugh, and of course Cameron Stone. I believe Hixenbaugh will come home second. I don't think, well, it depends on how hard.
One more shot at this.
Cameron Stone will try.
Oh, that's a bad exit for Cameron. I don't think.
Yeah.
That's a really bad exit.
I don't think so. That may have hurt it.
Oh,
yeah, that
wait,
definitely.
penalty!
Oh,
penalty for the 63.
penalty for
slowing
the
down.
63 of Hixenbaugh.
He's
And
going
the
up.
number 50.
He's out of fuel.
Wow. And the number yeah, he shouldn't have pit that early, I guess. And the number 57 of Cameron Stone will come home
Yeah, he's out of fuel.
in second.
Wow. I cannot believe that just happened. Go back.
Wow. I thought he had like a penalty coming out of that turn or something.
Yeah, so here's the 63 going full song into the bus stop. Right here, no problem. He's good, especially the exit. He gets a fantastic exit. Oh, a little stutter there, but it's fine, and then it dies. And he can feel it.
Yeah, I thought he was
Yeah,
going
it
down
dies
for
right
penalty.
there. You can feel it like just starting to coast, and he knew that he pitted, that his strategy was going to be close, but that's heartbreaking. Granted, he wasn't going for the win, but that's still heartbreaking.
And celebratory burnouts for Jonathan Delaney, your winner. You know what? He was probably planning this whole entire time on how he was going to do his victory celebration. Oh, is he?
Yeah, he is.
There he is. Yep, he's going to... a little bit cool if smoke actually came out. But yep, just going to do that, and he's going to reverse it a bit. And
there you go. Legal check right there.
That wall there.
You got to make sure the car's legal.
Yep, you got to. And of course, just going to do a little bit more celebratory donuts for Jonathan Delaney. And like I was saying, he was probably planning this whole entire time on burnouts for your winner, Jonathan Delaney. And of course, coming home in second, Cameron Stone after that. I did not expect to see that because Cameron Stone didn't have the greatest exit on that turn, out of that turn.
Yeah.
So
well, let's talk about the results. Jonathan Delaney finishing a nice, clean, almost perfect race in first place. Cameron Stone got second place out of Bryson Hixenbaugh, who ran out of fuel. I thought Cameron, he was there. And of course, we don't actually know how Bryson would have approached that final corner. I just think that Cameron was too far back to do anything as Jonathan Delaney's engine dies. But Cameron Stone finishing in second, Bryson Hixenbaugh third, Jimmy Costarellos finishing in fourth, Dakota Knoll in fifth, Matthew Woods in sixth, Damaris Hickenbottom, playoff driver, in seventh, Kevin Steele in eighth, Jack Anthony Durham in ninth, and Randy Drumhiller finishes in 10th. In 11th, we have Alex Princeton, 12th, Brian Mabry, 16th of Ryan Samuelson, as I believe Nick is getting ready to bring up Jonathan Delaney, and we'll interview him very soon. Preston McRae in 14th, Brandon Pierce in 15th, Dave Fear Jr. finishing in 16th with Christopher Hammond finishing in 17th. Kyle Amon finishing in 18th. Cameron Caldwell was unable to. He did qualify for the next round of the playoffs, finishing in 19th. Zach Probst in 20th. In 21st, Wayne Grassy, Josh Carpenter finishing in 22nd, and Jason S. Taylor got an unfortunate finish early to tonight's race. Got a good finish last week, but was unable to repeat that success in this week. So we're gonna go ahead and talk to our first place winner, our first place driver, Jonathan Delaney. Nick, do you have him brought up?
Yes, I do. Jonathan Delaney, Nicholas Reese here in the Throughout TV booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do, guys.
Alrighty, sounds good. First of all, congratulations on the first place win. That's got to feel good. And what was that little secret sauce you had going out there? Like, what were you doing to just stay out front that whole time?
Practice. That's all I gotta say. I probably did a total of around 300 laps in the Cup car this week, just practicing, just getting faster, and it definitely worked out. And we were really fast.
All right, and now you almost had a full-on perfect race. Of course, Bryson Hicksonbaugh did lead a couple of laps there. Now, I'd like to mention this here. Were you at all worried that when you maybe a little oversteered the car and went into that wall? It was like one of the last couple of laps there. Because I mean, you had a good lead. Like, were you at all worried that could have gone bad?
I was just doing that to entertain you guys up in the booth.
Oh no!
No, I'm joking. I just I misjudged the turn. The rear end kind of kicked out, and I just put it into the wall to save it from the rear end coming out. So, but yeah.
All right. Well, next week, you guys are going to, I believe it is Kansas for the round of 8. Looking forward to that?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it for sure. I like mile and a halves, especially Kansas. It's kind of a multi-groove track. It's one of the few in iRacing. But yeah, I'm excited to go there. It'll be fun for sure.
All right, now before I let you go, do you have any shout-outs you would like to give?
I'd like to thank everyone in Galaxy Admin Team. You guys up in the booth. My team outside of Galaxy Flying Arrows for the set this week, it was flying. Kevin Steele for the paint scheme. And yeah, that's it.
All right, well, Jonathan Delaney, congratulations on your first place finish here at the Roval.
Yep, thanks guys.
All right, and that Jonathan Delaney gonna go celebrate with his team and with his fans and family. But we got now second place Cameron Stone, essentially pulling a rabbit out of his hat when Bryson Hicksonbaugh's fuel just decided that it was leaving. But let's see, is Cameron, how are you doing today? Second place is not too bad.
Yeah, man. Coming into this week, I would have been, really happy just leaving without wrecking the car. Thought we were gonna spin a few times tonight. Thing was a handful. This is probably my least favorite track on the entire circuit, but coming out of here with second place is pretty good. My usual checklist going into the race is beat Bryson and second win. Usually, if you beat Bryson, you win, but this week that wasn't the case. John was just in another zip code, and hats off to him for he worked with us last week, helped us out a whole lot, and really happy for him to get a win today. But yeah, real surprised with second. We should have really finished third. Bryson ran out of gas, but yeah, real surprised with this one.
Yeah, speaking of Bryson, it looked like there wasn't even a shot of you having a chance at second place until he made a mistake in the bus stop with a few laps to go. Were you I mean, I think you were fully attempting to try to pass him, but do you think you had a shot if there were maybe a little bit more laps?
Well, I knew he was low on fuel. I thought he was going to run out before he did. We're in the same Discord, we're teammates, so he was, kind of keeping me updated on it. He was way out in front, and then he spun it in the bus stop, and got me real close. I was trying to get up there to him, but we were basically running the same lap times. I could gain a lot entering both chicanes. I was just sending it, trying to get there. And when we got to the one on the backstretch, I sent it in there too. It got really close, and my plan was if he didn't run out of gas, it might have been Jimmy Johnson and Martin Truex in the last chicane. I was gonna go for it, but he ran out. We didn't have to pull a move on him right there. But yeah, I had no shot if he didn't really run out of gas.
Yeah, that it looked like you had on that bus stop. The entry was nice and clean, but you kind of struggled to put the foot down on the exit, and he pulled away. We were calling it, and we thought that your chance at second place was done. And then he just started slowing down. Initially, I thought that he had a penalty, but then I realized he had a really aggressive pit strategy that caused him to lead some laps, and that's probably what happened. He just ran out of fuel. But either way, second place, not too bad. Moving on, next week, you already locked yourself in, but you're in the round of 8 at Kansas to start it off. What are you excited for that? What are your chances for that race?
I'm real happy to get back on ovals. Round 8 is going to be hopefully good to us. We ran really good at Kansas the first time and got caught up in a wreck. So, hopefully we can avoid doing that this time. Won Vegas a couple weeks ago. Those two are fairly similar. So hopefully we can get about the same speed out of the set that week and have a good run. Texas, not too excited about. I hate turn 1 and 2 there. I think everybody does, but hopefully we just unload with speed. It's going to be hard for anybody to pass you. And then race I've been looking forward to all year. I look forward to both of them, Martinsville. So that's the home track. Hopefully we can go out there. We won the first one. Want to sweep them this year. So round 8's got some duds and a couple exciting ones too. So just hoping to lock ourselves in the championship 4 and go to Phoenix and bring home the chip.
Good point. And we're going to leave you to prepare yourself for the round of 8. It's going to be very tough indeed. But you seem like you have what it takes to advance onto the Final 4. Before we do let you go off cam, do you have any shout-outs you want to go ahead and give out?
I want to give a big shout-out to all my teammates over at Highside. Bryson had a good race. Damaris, I believe, haven't seen it officially, but I'm pretty sure he locked in around 8 too. So Highside's got 3 guys in around 8. That's pretty good chances there. Let's see, who was on the car this week? We had Quaker State on the car this week. First time out there. Couldn't put him in victory lane, but we got second place, so that's good. Shout out to Kevin for making all the paint schemes. Makes them for me for free because he loves me so much. Shout out to the family. Got new requests this week. Auntie Megan, appreciate you. Uncle Cuz Conrad, appreciate you. Shout out to Mom as well. I'm on TV again, Mom. Pops, I know you watching too. Appreciate you. Carmen, you right here, but I'm gonna talk to you anyway. Hey, how you doing, baby? Let's see. Thanks to Ford, fast car, obviously better on fuel mileage because the Chevy ran out in front of me.
All right, and that's our time for that's all the time we have for tonight.
That's about it. I appreciate you, Carlos. Appreciate you guys too. Yeah, y'all play the get off the stage music here for me. But yeah, appreciate you guys. I know Ken and Dirt weren't here this week. Nick stepped in. Appreciate you, Nick, for stepping in. Hopefully have those guys back next week. I miss Dirt. Love that guy. Carlos, appreciate you pushing all the buttons and everything. Broadcast has been great. Y'all keep up the good work.
Yeah, no problem. We got the B team here holding down the fort for Karen and Andre, but they'll be here. They'll be here next week more than likely. And we'll have back a normal style broadcast. So I can fully concentrate on pushing buttons and making sure everything looks good. But thank you so much for having a fun race. Thank you so much for thanking us, Cam. And we look forward to seeing what you got next week.
Appreciate it, fellas.
All right. And I believe Nick has caught. Oh, what's up?
All right. Well, I was going to segue into that.
Yeah, go ahead, Nick.
But anyway,
you're a big boy. You do that.
All right. Well, that was your second place finisher of Cameron Stone, but I have caught up with your third place finisher, the number 63 of Bryson Hicksonball. You got a copy.
Yep, I got you.
All right. Well, you were running in second most of that race, and of course, you did lead about 3 laps or so, somewhere in there, and that was thanks to a pit strategy. Now, of course, that early pit strategy did end up in you just running short of fuel. Were you expecting that to happen? Like, I mean, like, when did you figure out that you were like gonna run out of fuel there?
I didn't really expect it to happen. I thought I could go 35 laps fairly easily on fuel. I know I'd heard somebody went 37 in their NIS, so I thought 35 would be pretty safe. I just burned up a lot there. I wanted to do the strategy to try and undercut John and get the lead, and it worked, and I couldn't hold him off because he ended up punting me for the lead once he got to me, and I just couldn't catch back up to him. But after that, I was looking at it, and it was saying I had exactly enough, and I was just looking at it, waiting, and I was thinking about maybe stopping, but I never really had a big enough gap to stay in second with pitting, so I just stayed out there and then looped on the backstretch, lost all my lead on Cameron, and then running out, going through oval 3 and 4. I was just hoping I could coast to the end.
So when you ran out, did that just come up you kind of on surprise? Like, were you? I'm guessing you weren't expecting that. Like, did that just like come up on surprise?
I was kind of expecting it. I knew it was going to be close. I was really hoping I'd have enough to run out like in the last chicane and maybe have a big enough gap to hold on to second. But I expected to run out sometime between oval 2 and the front stretch chicane.
Yeah, and well, I mean, this is the end of the round of 12. Now going into the round of 8 with Kansas. Are you looking forward to that next week?
I am. I ran really good there in the spring when we went there the first time. I ended up finishing second to Eddie Kerner, and Eddie's no longer showing up to races, so hopefully I'll be out front.
All right, now before I let you go, do you have any shout-outs you would like to give?
Just give a shout-out to all my family that's watching, my mom and dad, 2 grandmas, aunts and uncles that are all watching. Didn't get the win this time, but thank you all for watching this for me.
All right, well, congratulations on the 3rd place finish. 3rd, it's a podium finish, so congratulations.
Thank you, guys. Hope to see you next week.
All right, well, that was Bryson Hicksonball, who I honestly thought he was going to come home second after Cameron Stone didn't have the greatest exit of that one turn, but of course, just out of fuel, just short.
Just short, and I've been there before, running out of fuel, and just trying to do something aggressive. But Nick, what a fantastic race for a Charlotte Roval race, or just a road course race in general. That was pretty fun. You know, it wasn't like not everybody got fully spread out. There was a lot of spread outness going on, but a lot of good racing, a lot of clean racing. We did see a little bump from the 6 to the 63 there, but that was kind of not necessarily expected, but it wasn't a hard I'm gonna wreck you bump. It was definitely one of the cleanest bumps I've seen iRacing ever, and I really enjoyed seeing that. Bixby, not now. I'm not talking to you. How about Samsung products? Am I right? Anyway, fun race, fun time. I loved hanging out with you, Nick. You did a great job. No, you were expecting to not commentate with me alongside somebody who hasn't commentated since January. But I hope everybody watching had a fun time, and we'll be back next week at Kansas with Kevin and Andre, hopefully. And that'll be starting off the round of 8, and that will be a blast to watch. Nick, anything you want to say?
All right. Yeah, I thought you were just gonna segue into the end there,
yeah,
but
I want to give you something to say.
No. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think that I'm sure that these guys, most of these guys at least, are gonna be happy to be back at an oval track, and honestly, what surprised me this week was Jonathan Delaney said something like 300 laps in a Cup car he did around here for practice, and that definitely showed clearly. And he just dominated tonight's race. And yeah, I'm sure these guys are going to be happy to be back at an oval. And I guess that's when we'll be back here on 3Y TV for the Galaxy Cup Series.
Well said. Well, I want to give a shout out to everybody that's been watching. I want to give a shout out to Sim TV for providing the wonderful camera package, as well as just being awesome people and letting us use some of their assets. Nick, thank you so much for being here, and everybody, thank you so much for watching. We had a great time, and we'll see you all next week.